Paradise Arrested, Chapter 3, Heartbeat of Civility. Will it stay civil today? Probably not, but that's okay. When last we met many weeks ago, but it's only just been a couple minutes for our acolytes, for our apostles, our apostles here. They were all the way in middle of nowhere, kind of, Kalsamia, which is a massive farming region, because they were hearing reports of strange shadowy creatures that were taking over things. No one was really hurt unless they got too close, and the shadow things were not actually trying to go after anything living, but they seemed very interested, as we just described, to take and possess these objects, almost bringing them some kind of strange, eerie life. And ultimately, our heroes were successful by, as they said, destroying all unattended objects and salting the earth. I believe when we left off, I think, Nereus, you were going to kind of stick around and help a little bit, but you all would know at this point that you are expected to return to your individual tears to report to your deities. So unless there was anything special anybody want to do in Kalsamia, I'm going to begin there. All right, let us begin then. Lithian, we're going to start with you.
Wow.
I know. I had an order to these things for a very specific reason.
Is it alphabetical? Because so far it's alphabetical.
No, not alphabetical. I would say it is an order of typical to atypical.
All right, so Nereus is last.
How did you know? Lithian, as you pocketed your little vial of that shadowy, strange thing, you immediately go into teleport to Ter Helene. Ter Helene rests on one of the dense forests in Alcana, and actually I'm going to go into the combat mode so that people can see that you are right here. Yeah. Ter Helene rests on one of the dense forests in Alcana. Trees and florals of all kinds surround the metropolis, but there is a strict order to their location. The grounds are a carefully balanced ecosystem to make sure nothing overtakes or is destroyed by another. Lithian, you exit the teleportation circle room to Helene's temple. It's mostly a wooden mixed with eroded stone to create a structure well protected from the elements and to keep things orderly inside. The temple is a circle that splits off into small sections that people walk around to get to. A perfect cycle. Lithian, you've returned. There is a man that approaches you that has deep forest green skin with short horns that curl back. His hair is cut to his chin and holds some grays from age and experience. The other most notable thing about him is that he's missing his right arm, the stump covered by his robes. You know this man to be a sort of mentor figure to you, Viserys, the priest of pestilence and the previous apostle to Helene. And
I just give him an acknowledgement and sort of a nod as I enter.
I only heard bits and rumors of the sort of thing you face. I don't wish to interrupt you from where I assume you're going to be meeting with our goddess, but it's good to see that you're not worse for wear.
Yes, it was a waste of our time and talents, if I'm going to be honest, but I have important business to discuss with our goddess, so if you will excuse me.
Of course. He will nod and let you to the side.
I think that, he's my mentor, so obviously I know that there's, worth and there's a kind of respect there, but the fact that I replaced him means that, to a certain extent, he's not as useful as he was, so there's also, I think, I don't want to say a level of disdain, but just sort of you have your uses, and right now I don't have use for you, so.
You would also know that Viserys, because of him being in the Priest of Pestilence, he is not exactly much in the same way as sometimes what work that happens with an apostle. A lot of what he does is not exactly front facing.
Mhm.
So, and I think, and you would also know that whatever caused him to lose his arm is also what caused his replacement.
It was me. I took his arm.
I'm afraid you were too young for that to happen, but sure.
Also,
Yeah.
because I know I put that, the essence of that shadow thing into a vial, which you said it's small, but eventually it would consume the vial. Could I use some of my psychic powers, or expend some die if I need to basically kind of try to put like a layer of that psychic energy around the inside of the vial to try to keep it from touching the vial, just see if I can help to keep it contained a little longer, or like a little bit better?
You absolutely can. I also would encourage you to try to do an Arcana or History roll to help with another thought.
So I think we'll say maybe like in the in between, before I interface with anyone, I sort of reinforce it with a psychic energy, and I will try to do. You said a Arcana or History.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. They are both +0.
This is actually to help you with something else about
Sure.
this.
So, all right, give me just a second here to see if where's my side bolster? Need to know if I'm allowed to use that only for things I'm proficient with, or for anything. Yeah, when you fail something that you have proficiency in. Okay, so this is just a straight roll then. I will use one of my inspos for this.
Okay.
For advantage.
Yeah, let me be a little bit clearer.
Mm-hmm.
I am calling for this roll to have you think about something else that could be helpful. I would let you expend the psychic die to do what you're trying to do.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just looking to see that if I do poorly on this roll, to use another psychic die to do better on it.
Yes. I just want to make sure what I was saying was clear. So, yep, go ahead.
17.
That's good. You recall that when you were dealing with these shadowy things, again, the main reason the vial is a problem is because, as far as you know, they only seem to be at this time interested in non-living, unattended objects.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You are in Ter Helene, which is teeming with life. And perhaps since they don't seem to be doing much of anything related to that could be helpful to consider in trying to also contain this.
Oh, like a living container might be better suited.
Yes.
A container. I'm not really sure what a living container would be. All right, I'm going to put it inside of a cat, and I'll just carry the cat around with me. Okay, so yeah,
I would like
once
to fashion a container of human skin, please.
I mean, I was thinking,
but it has to
more.
still be living, right? It can't just be dead skin. That's just leather.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's true.
So yeah, I will use my psychic energies to kind of keep it contained in there, so it can't like touch the edges of it. But then I will head to my goddess.
All right. 1 second, I have to get to the next song.
Is there a particular like title or something that is like appropriate to call either the gods and goddesses in general or on an individual level? Is it just my goddess, or
my goddess would be appropriate here. You could also with your close relationship with Helene, why you wouldn't be like, yo, what's up, Helene? You
what's
would
up,
probably,
hey bae?
Yeah, exactly. You would still say something probably like my goddess Helene would probably be like the biggest way that
Sure.
most polite way to go about this. But my goddess is perfectly fine.
Okie dokie. So yeah, I head to
the altar is where you're going to be going.
Yep. Is this Is this a private? Like, are there other
Yes.
people who are around or no?
No.
Cool.
No one. The only people, and I will get to this. The only people who go into the altar would be yourself and the bishops, and that's it.
All right, and bishops should not be here or
No.
around.
They certainly could be around, but pretty much the only time the bishops go to the altar is if all of them are essentially called to the altar. So
Sure.
there's no one waiting for you there.
Okay.
You enter Helene's altar, which is the private room where certain people speak to Helene directly. Sometimes her bishops will come to consult on certain matters, but you are the most frequent visitor to this place, as is right for the apostle. The room is like a miniature botanical garden. The ground is foliage and dirt with some stone pathways and seats. The far end of the room is a massive tree that must be centuries old, judging by the circumference of its trunk. A section of it is hollowed out, so it appears more like a throne. In between the stone seating areas and the tree is a small flowing river, a water part of a larger aqueduct that has been set up inside the temple, and in some ways a separation between goddess and man. Wisps of magical energy and leaves circle around the tree until you see your goddess Helene in all of her immortal magnificence, almost close enough to touch. Not that you would ever dare. She wears furs and leaves as clothes, although her legs are still more like wisps than corporeal. She's always just a little bit out of reach. My apostle Lithian, you have returned.
I have with some news.
I would hear it of you. Is the situation in Kalsumia contained?
For now, we weren't able to discern exactly why or what caused it. The fault lies in anyone there. But I was able to connect with the entity. It had intelligence. It spoke of the gods. Give me 1 second here to scroll up really quick.
Yeah.
Wish Roll20 had a way to separate roles from just text stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
It spoke of consumption, consuming stagnation of ego. It spoke of the gods, which I can't see further. So I basically explained to her like all the stuff that I heard from it. That it seems to have some sort of, maybe not direction, maybe not motive, but it at least has some preconceived notions of your excellence sounds weird, of you and the rest of the Pantheon.
This is disturbing, although considering exactly the sort of way it was going, it doesn't seem to exactly hold such power yet to warrant such intelligence. This is strange.
The final thing before we routed them, and they were not hostile in the way that you would expect creatures to be. They possessed objects, and so long as no one went near them, they seemed content enough to just remain in them. But the final thought that I sensed from them was what goes up must come down, and then repeating return over and over again, for whatever that may mean.
This return was while they were still fighting you, or when they were gone, or
as we defeated the last of them.
So they have a place they go to, some kind of headquarters, maybe.
If they were referring to themselves, I don't know if the what goes up must come down is referring to them, and if the return may also be referring to something else that they wish, or it wishes to return in some way. It's still very foreign, it's still very alien. I was able to secure an essence of one of them. If there's anything you think you might be able to glean before I dispose of it, and I will show her the vial.
Hmm. You said it seems to, or at least what you saw, like into objects, right?
I currently have my psychic abilities keeping it safe within here, but in time it would devour through this. It doesn't seem to have much of a desire or an appetite for living things.
Very well. She raises she raises her hand, and near to you there is a vine that comes up to the stone seat that you're at, unless you're on your knees. I'm not sure, but it's coming. Where are you? Like sitting? Are you kneeling? How are you? Positioned?
Whatever, as I say, whatever would be most like normal. If it's like, if this is literally like you to kneel down to like pray to them for them to come, then yeah, I'd probably be kneeling. Otherwise, I'd probably just be standing.
Got it. So it's going to. I think you would probably be. You would either be sitting, which is pretty normal for the bishops, or for you personally, you might be kneeling as like a.
I'd probably be kneeling then.
Show of respect.
Show of respect.
Mm-hmm. So there's a vine that kind of comes and trails up your leg inside and blooms out a large, kind of like, think like those big magnolia flowers
Mm-hmm.
that opens up. And she goes, pour it into there.
He does so, but also maintains the concentration to keep the psychic energies around it just in case.
As you do so, you see that black inky bit, because you got a very tiny amount for that, and it just kind of wiggles as it's in your psychic energy, like it's like trapped in an invisible cage. And as it sits in the flower, you can tell that while it's still reacting to your invisible cage, it's also kind of reacting a little bit to the inner flower in like a double cage in a weird way, and so it's like it
It's repelled like
Yeah.
like almost like
Kind-
magnetism in a way.
in a way, think of like, the snake game. Think of like if you had that snake game and we just made the game screen smaller onto it, and it's just like
Gotcha.
So it's not it for right now. It's I wouldn't say repel, but more like it feels like it's bound so they can go into or smaller.
Okay.
And as you do that, the flower closes again, and then kind of trips through the vine, and you can see it travels up to that tree throne, and just kind of sits there closed beside her. I will see, perhaps, what I can glean from it. I have also been made aware that Esterin's apostle is being led to charge with some of research of his own. We are hoping to hear more from that at some point.
Understood. None of the others know that I have secured this essence.
Very good, and it will stay that way. You have done well, Lithian. We will have to see just how serious this concern is. Anything that has to... We have heard, of course, curses towards us before. This is nothing new. They will be stamped out, as they always are.
He nods.
In the meantime, I have something else for you. Something I find a little more pressing. You know of Baratos, the god of ingenuity. And you also know how Baratos can sometimes be, how do I say, bored with idle hands. You can make an insight check.
With advantage.
Yes. This is I'm more using this as kind of a history roll for you, but insight works just as well for you.
22.
Cool.
Which is kind of low.
That's okay. You know that Helene is trying to be careful because the first ring gods really, even among their apostles, have to be pretty careful of how they talk about the other first ring deities. It's
Sure.
kind of a formality thing.
That isn't Rohirri's.
No.
No, okay.
No, it's none of these people here.
Right.
Baratos is if you remember from the last conversation, Baratos was the one where they're like, "How do we defeat this thing?" And he went, try fire, more fire, maybe lightning." But he
Oh,
was very distracted.
Right, Rohirri is same
Kethek.
motive, but uses a hammer. Gotcha.
Yep, and is under Kethek, which is the god of bastions. And when she says he is distracted, he tends to have trouble with idle hands.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Is he off his Adderall again?
Maybe needs to be on it. You know that Baratos frequently struggles with having ideas that don't make do for a polite, peaceful society. And she continues, I have concerns given his more distracted presence in our last full meeting. And I would like to know exactly what might be going in his mind. Now, usually, his clergy is the one that takes over such business and such concerns. But, I would like to, but the problem is that if he is this distracted, my concern is that his clergy may be in support of some new creation of his. The main person I would like you to question is his own apostle Theord, as he is the one that has the closest connection with him and his genius inventions. And as far as I'm aware, Apostle Theord should be in Sualcana for the time being, as he is likely going to be having to converse with the Archbishop Hales there. I would like you to discuss with Theord, see exactly what is this new thing from Baratos, and whether it is safe for Elkanah. If you would like to make
Understood.
another insight check, you may.
Always. So that's much better. That is a 28.
Okay. Yeah. So she's concerned that Baratos is making something that probably does too many explodey things.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, his clergy kind of helps keep that to himself.
And this is another apostle, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Theord is an apostle. You met him.
Right. So they would be in the know of the thing that we
exactly
just got done with.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes,
Yep,
yes,
yep.
yes.
Okay.
And so she's having concerns that Theord might actually be secretly endorsing some project from Baratos, but she has no idea what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And she would, because usually when new inventions come out, Baratos isn't really that excited about it.
Right.
So she wants to know what is going on, is it dangerous, and to have a conversation with Theord and potentially maybe make sure this thing doesn't see the light of day.
Sure.
If you think that is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, please, for the sake of peace and safety, if you can avoid having to deal with this conflict with someone returning to Ethereal Sea, that would be appreciated.
No, of course, my touch will be light and unnoticed.
Thank you. Is there anything else I can do for you, Lithian? I can answer for you, Lithian.
Never. Only what I can do for you and for Elkanah. Her
smile grows large as the weeds grow in unattended cornfields.
You. How often are the gods concerned with, or do they like interact with one another in any way? And maybe Heliana's different because she's kind of the prime one. How concerned or in the know does she like to be about about issues that the other gods might need to like, hey, maybe so and so should like look into this, or talk to blah 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 about it.
She would definitely want to know any concerns that you might have with the other deities. Obviously, you have to be very polite as you do
Right.
so.
Not necessarily with the deities, but with their apostles.
She is going to she's mostly concerned with the greater Arcana as a whole.
Sure.
She does not have really any concerns with the apostle serving their deity. She feels that is the responsibility of that deity for their
No
apostle.
problem. Yep. Okay.
But if you feel that an apostle, that's why she's mentioning Theord, because that could be an issue for all of Elkanah. But as far as like if Theord's serving Baratos well, she would be of the mindset of that's Baratos' problem, not mine.
Okay. Yep. Nope. That's it then.
Okay.
He will bow, wait for her to leave, and then take his leave as well. And
yeah,
just so that we're clear, she kept the essence, right?
she kept it.
Cool.
It is with her.
All right.
She smiles and nods, and ever blessings on your journey. And she wisps away. And we're going to... are you going to do anything in Ter Helene before you would take the teleportation to Sualcana?
I will let you know.
Okay. For now, I'm going to switch over, and until you tell me otherwise, I'm going to assume that the next time we see you will be Sualcana, unless you tell me.
Nope, that is fine.
All right.
Actually, I do know
Yes.
what I want,
what's up?
and I feel like maybe this is something I can procure here, given Goddess of Seasons and stuff.
Yes.
Can I procure some sort of either very expensive or rare or hard to find, like wine or something like that? A gift.
Interesting.
In
So
fact,
just
could I do an insight to know what kind of gift? Is it Fjord, like Fjord?
No, I'll put in the chat. It's
Okay.
TH.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
You would like to know what would be a suitable gift for him. Yes. make an
Yeah,
insight check.
that would maybe get him on get me on his good side at first glance.
Yes.
Oh. So that's going to be a 17. If that is not a success, I will use a side dice on it.
No, that will give you some success if you
I
would
will
like to have
use
a
a
sign.
side die yeah, just to get a little bit.
I would like
little-
you to get
little bit
over
extra.
20 for just because you don't really interact with him very much.
I got 20 exactly.
You're good. Wine, I don't you wouldn't he's not necessarily impressed by the priciness of wine. It would be very much more of a he is someone that you see is like constantly overworked. So something that maybe could provide a little bit of comfort, maybe some relief.
I get him a kitten.
Something that kind of shows like you're working hard, buddy. So wine could be appropriate, but priciness is probably less important than maybe drunkenness.
Okay, so basically something that's like higher proof, not
Yeah.
necessarily expensive. Okay, then in
Correct.
that case, I will get the like oldest vintage whiskey that I can.
Very nice choice, and yeah, that's not a problem.
All right.
You just have it.
Yep.
Congratulations. Welcome to the game where I don't deal with gold.
Nice.
All right. Very good. We're going to transition to Rohirri. Yeah.
Time to go talk to Grandpappy.
Ter Kethik is a metropolis that is completely walled around in various areas. Everything is sectioned off with whatever walls people can afford to build or buy. It's a relatively quiet city, all things considered, as people go about their business and navigate the various walled sections. Rohirri, you exit the teleportation circle to find Kethik's Fortress, a large building made of metal and stone whose only purpose is to stand tall and unbroken. As you walk, you are approached by a female tiefling with maroon skin, purple hair, and the same kind of horns as you, a small cirque on her visage. Well, if it isn't the little hammer herself. You know this to be one of Kethik's priests, Ferris. Unlike other deities, his priests aren't necessarily assigned specialties, as it's just working for the family. More importantly, she's one of your numerous cousins. I've only heard
Yeah.
little bits and rumors of what you've been up to.
Real quick, could you put that name in the chat?
I absolutely can. And I will tell you, she's not. You've never, I guess, I don't know if I would say you are two are best friends. It's more that she finds the things that you do really amusing, and so she just always wants to know the latest tea about it. She just thinks it's hilarious.
It's something.
Yeah? I heard that the whole homestead was completely destroyed. Was that you?
No comment.
Come on. You're always letting me out of the coolest stuff. I have to sit
Most of it
here.
was.
What'd you say?
Most of it was.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about, man. You get to do all this exciting stuff. You know what I got to do yesterday? Melt metal. They're building up another wall in one of the sections here. Did you know that? Another wall. They gotta fix it again.
You see this? This is my surprised face.
Ugh. I'm so bored. I want to do cool stuff like you, but that's not Kethic's domain, so we gotta do the right, gotta build more walls. Are you gonna go see him now?
Yeah, I kind of need to.
All right. Well, you go have fun with that, and then, well, maybe later we can, you can tell me more details. Maybe tell him what he said. I want to know how mad he is, or how happy he
Happy
is.
about this.
We'll see.
He's not going to be happy about this.
Oh man. When he gets mad, sometimes I swear to Kethik that he just like shakes this place and then we have to fix more cracks. Anyway, I will let you be off and do your thing. Is there anything you want to do before you reach his altar?
No, I think Rohiri's probably heading straight there.
All right.
Because we all heard the stuff that the shadows were saying, right? Because we were all in the
I
chat, so
think
to speak.
I think so. I think so. Is that right? I can't remember if that was because I couldn't remember if one person couldn't hear it. But I assume people would have told each other otherwise. Is that
Yeah.
right? Okay. All right. You enter Kethic's altar, which looks about as plain and similar to all the other rooms of his walled fortress. In here, there is a long metal bench to sit at, while the other side has something akin to a stone podium. Dark energy swirls until Kethik stands behind this podium and levels his gaze at you. Rohiri.
Grandfather.
So, is it done? Are they all gone?
Back to wherever the hell they came from.
Alright. Do we have to worry about it?
Considering they possessed buildings, yeah.
I see. What do they do with these buildings?
Tried to step on this mostly.
Alright. Well, did you see them go anywhere? We haven't heard anything headed here, so I haven't felt them since we first heard about them. Sneaky
Did we-
bastards.
See a direction they went in, or did they just kind of disappear into?
No, you have no idea.
Just kind of dispersed? But it's Lithian was able to connect us with them, and what they were saying is more concerning.
What shit are they saying?
What goes up must come down. The gods will fall.
He lets out a boisterous laugh. You've heard this laugh before. Sometimes it means like, man, that shit's pissing me off, and sometimes it means, wow, you think you're real funny. Not to you, but just to the general situation. Downfall of the gods. Who do they think they are? We can't fall. We're gods. Who's gonna take us down?
Has
Listen.
me concerned is what the hell do we do if they possess our walls?
What is it you're good at? What did I train you to be, Rohiri?
enough.
Then you get to build more walls afterwards.
We smash it, we make it gone, we build better walls. Maybe we build different walls. Maybe... You said they don't do stuff with living things?
Yeah,
Maybe...
walls. Be a lot of elementals.
What'd you say? Sorry.
That'd be a lot of elementals.
Yeah, maybe we can make them living walls. Ugh, I'll have to talk to Helena about that. Get some ugh, I don't know if I want vines running up down my walls. Ah, scratch that. We'll figure it out. Make the stone alive. Practically do that anyway. Is there anything else of these weakness to these things besides smashing the stuff they inhabit?
Sarah, I don't remember anything with Rohiri.
Go ahead and make me a history or religion check.
Why do I never take religion on my cleric?
Same reason nobody takes nature on their druid.
16.
That's fine. You remember Saphira dancing made them pause.
Saphira's... Okay, this is going to sound insane. Her dancing, they tried to imitate it instead of attacking.
Dancing? Wait, is Saphira Lysilia's bitch? Is that... We talking about the same one?
Lycilia is apostle, yes.
Dancing. Dancing. Why would dancing do any shit? I don't know. Well, whatever. If dancing's what makes them go so that you can smash them better, then all the better, whatever. Dancing. Lycilia doesn't even know what fighting means. Do you know that she doesn't even have her people wear weapons or armor? What tomfoolery is this? You have to be ready! Always ready! Always ready for anything to come up at any time. That's what we learned from the Great War, you know.
It kind of came up when we were trying to, kill the shadow things.
Dancing. I'm not much for dancing. I'm always likely to make something big enough to fall on it. Ah, whatever. There's other people that are looking into this, but in the meantime, if anything comes to our walls, well, we know who to talk to. Smash them down and make new walls. We've been improving our walls since the Great War. No devils could get across here, and none of these shadow things either. I'm sure of it. Ah, man, this just pisses me off. You know what we need? Do you know what we need?
More walls?
More walls to build. Do you know the best place to build more walls is? And a place that hasn't come down yet. And you know what building has yet to fall down yet?
This one?
Well, this place falls down on time. No, I'm talking about on Sualcana, the Archbishop's place. That place hasn't come down for decades. Of course it's strong. I helped make sure it was strong. But, you know these things. It needs to be better. You need to show it needs to be better. You know the, You know the Archbishop Duskleys? You would know Duskleys. He's basically one of your great uncles. He doesn't like you very much.
Yeah, not that either of us are particularly a fan of the other.
I want you to take a hold of his house. Smash it. Smash it good.
I feel like Rohiri looks like her birthday came early.
Now listen. Duskleys is Duskleys. Listen, he's the Archbishop. He's important and all of that. So, don't completely take down the whole structure or anything. But just give I want a real good, nice hole in that wall. You know what I'm saying?
I think that can be arranged.
Great. And you would know that all archbishops are in Sul Alcana. All right. Now go smash that wall! And then we can build another one. That's fine. We can do that later. Smash a wall.
I'm gonna go smash a wall.
Is there anything? Is there anything that you want to ask him or say to him before he kind of mutters to himself?
I don't think so. On my way out of town, I would want to pick up some things that go kaboom.
Well, that's going to be very hard because this is the
Oh.
place of bastions. But
Maybe I'll get them into Wakanda then.
is there something specific you're trying to find?
I honestly hadn't thought about it past thing that goes kaboom, so not particularly.
I think you have what you need. I wouldn't worry too much, or at least you'll be able to find what you need.
Excellent.
All right. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. Okay. All right. Cal, I just wanted you to know you can change the name, I think, to Saphira on your end and roll 20, so that the confusion is less confusing. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. All right. So you will be on your way to Sulakana. We're going to go over to Saphira. And notably, your music here is called Amber Ale. There's a lot of it in this place.
Yep.
Terlycilia rests on a beachside with all the accoutrements of tropical bliss. Clean, sandy beaches, swaying trees with large leaves for shade, beautiful blue waves of the ocean's coast, and an open-air buildings to take full advantage of the sunshine and light breeze. As you exit the teleportation circle room, you are greeted by Lycilia's Palace, an open building with hallways of sky blue marble and white pillars holding up sparkling stained glass roofs. Each stained glass depicts people in Lycilia enjoying all manners of pleasures, from eating to dancing to other private activities. As you walk around, you hear a familiar voice. Hey, girl! A male tiefling just a couple years older than you approaches. He has warm-toned pink skin with horns curled backwards like a baby ram's. His eyes are baby blue, and he has black hair that is perfectly shiny with a well-trimmed beard. You know this man very well. Lysander of Lycilia, one of the bishops to Lycilia.
She seems
Girl,
really...
you look awful. Like dirty, like you need a shower stat.
I could not have said it better myself. How are you doing, Lysander?
Paradise bliss. What could I ask for?
Yeah, isn't it just the way? Oh, yeah, no, we just had, just a delightful time in Calcimia. I can't tell you.
Were you in a battlefield?
Yeah. Yes, I was. I was a battlefield in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Well, you know, beauty in all things. I think that's one of the tenets of Lycilia. Don't tell her I said that. I barely got this bishop roll by the skin of my teeth. We don't need to talk about it.
Well, beauty in all things, but I suppose it is the failing of mortals that we can't always see it.
Indeed. Listen, when you're done with whatever you got to do, something came. You know, one of our messaging our messaging circles. Something came for you. Didn't have a name on it though.
Okay. Something that I should address now, or may I go report first?
I mean, I try not to open things that are addressed to you because, you know, secret apostle business. So I don't know where it came from. I can give it to you now, or if you want to wait till after you help Our Lady.
I think I will go attend Our Lady first and then stop by to pick it up.
Yeah. Just let me know. Also, I heard Lycilia's kind of pissy about something. Do you know anything about that?
Did he just say that our goddess is pissy?
Yes.
She kind of raises her eyebrows in surprise.
That's why he lowered his voice.
Yeah. Well, there was a rather uncouth remark made about our goddess while the others were meeting.
Oh. It's the art lady, right?
Yes.
Oh, man.
It was Athala.
Oh, man.
Well, Athala. I think it was... No, it was Athala.
Yep, you got it. Yep. Oh, man. Oh. All right. Do what you got to do. I know. Important apostle business. I'll see you off later about that.
She's going to quickly go to shower and change into some fresh clothes so that she can look presentable.
All right. after that, you're going to be going to her altar.
Yes.
You enter Lysilia's altar, which looks more like a hangout place than some official divine room. There's a large futon against the wall with fluffy pillows and velvet blankets. Across from that, more towards the center of the room, is a long, extravagant couch. This would be big enough to fit the group of bishops. But for today, it's just yours. Once you sit down, it's only a few seconds before wisps of magical energy circle over the futon. Then comes Lysilia. She looks just as you saw her before, but she appears more corporeal, more mortal. She wears nothing in terms of clothing. Her hair and blankets cover whatever privacy she cares to keep for herself for the moment. Ah, Saphira, my apostle, you have safely returned.
Yes, my goddess. I trust that you are well.
Of course. What could I have anything to complain about?
She pauses for a moment. Indeed. Well, we had a stirring visit to Calcimia by the grace of your wisdom.
Of course. Oh, grace of my wisdom, you say?
Yes. It was something of a supernatural nature had taken hold of the place, and it required us to destroy much of what was there to dispatch of it.
She frowns at that.
To be clear, it required my more violence-prone companions to destroy the things there. I danced.
Of course, as you should. Violence has no place here in Alcana.
No, my goddess.
Well, never mind that. A sore subject that is gone as anything else.
She kind of catches herself for a moment. This creature, this entity, whatever it was, spoke of the downfall of the gods.
Downfall of the gods. We hear that every other week. I wouldn't concern yourself with such things. If Helene feels that things are under control, then things are under control. That's how it works around here.
As you say, my goddess.
Why would anyone want to destroy things when we have everything we need?
Paradise indeed.
Paradise indeed. Pleasurable, peaceful paradise. Has a ring to it. Was that already one of my many monikers?
It is.
I am very good at that.
You are.
Now, listen, I have something of a favor to ask of you. In Lysilia language, favor just means mission.
Yeah. She bows her head politely. I live to serve.
Well, Athala being Athala has to say things about me that are just so uncouth. So, I figure one of her lovely little priests, some portrait prodigy of some kind, I don't really know, she's been sending me missives all the time to our bishops here to ask for you.
To ask for me?
She wants to use you as some sort of drawing practice of some kind. I've been ignoring them. I haven't mentioned them. They aren't important. But I realized that there is something to be gained here. Perhaps if you were to go there and convince her that maybe Athala isn't worth her prodigy talents, we could both be happy.
She's picking up what you're putting down. She nods. Perhaps were she to be shown that placing her faith in you would be a more prosperous path.
Of course. You know how it is. People always think that there's more to life to pleasure until they have a taste of it. Then it's all they want.
So true. Yes, I could do that.
Good. Well, apparently she likes to spend her time in Sualcana, so I'm sure you look for her. Her name is Psyche. That's her name.
Psyche.
Psyche.
Very well.
Look for Psyche. Convince her of my grace. And, well, then my favor is over.
Very well, my goddess. I shall do as you ask.
My dear Saphir, there seems to be something swirling behind those eyes of yours. Is there something you're not telling me that you're worried about?
She pauses for a moment before she nods. I'm 36. I am... Well, I've been in your service now for 18 years. The rumors are swirling about as to whom shall replace me, and after speaking with another of the apostles, Helene's apostle suggests that perhaps it is time I start lending my assistance to selecting my replacement.
Helene's apostle. And Helene's apostle. Is Helene's apostle immortal, a deity?
No, of course not.
And does Helene's apostle speak for me?
Of course not.
I see. Does any of these rumors people love, is that for my voice?
No, my goddess.
You are my precious porcelain doll. You have nothing to worry about. I will take such concerns on. You serve me as you always have been. Perfectly pleasant.
She smiles and bows her head politely. Yes, my goddess.
Very good. Now, if that is all, unless there is some other questions or concerns you have. And please, enough with the shadow business. It's dreadful.
But of course, I will not bring it up to you again.
Good.
No, I believe Lysander has a missive for me, and then I will set out for Sul'Alcana.
Of course, of course. Off you go. And
course.
she will disappear once more.
She gets up and goes to find Lysander and get whatever package has been sent for her.
It is simply a something that was notated. So when this happens, it's more like somebody had kind of spoken a message to somebody here. And so unfortunately, unless they identify themselves, there's really no way to know who sent it.
Okay.
Other than what the message contains. The message says, sorry. This is my bad. Actually, I had said something wrong, and this is my bad.
Oh.
What Lysander said to you is that he had received a strange missive, and he was going to talk to you about it.
Okay.
So, you will be, you can see him after for that.
Okay. Then I will go find Lysander.
So, everything go well?
Yes, I'm being sent abroad once again.
Oh, you always leave so quickly.
Our goddess has many tastes that are divine and varied, and now they call for a young lady in Sul'Alcana.
Ooh, you'll have to tell me all about her.
Oh, I most certainly will.
Too bad she's a her. Listen, I don't want to shock you or anything, or cause any alarm or anything like that. We just, we get letters all the time. It's like fan mail, and some people, get some fan mail that's popular, and some of it that is unpopular, all that kind of stuff.
Yes, I'm aware.
Listen, we got someone that's saying some things about you, and I just wanted to let you know that there's maybe certain activities you want to keep on the down low.
She turns and looks at him fully now. Is that so? And what are they saying about me?
Well, they're just kind of hinting at that, you might not be fully yourself and doing some things that are not always helpful. And listen, we know that sometimes we all find our ways to keep our energy up, right?
She straightens up a little bit. I see.
Just kind of just be careful. Listen, no one's going to talk to you about it. No one's going to listen. Whenever these outside comments in, it's not really our business. It's always Lycilia's choice. But I just want you to know that just keep certain things more on the down low, okay?
Can I make a check to see if I might know who here might be interested in those sorts of rumors spreading around?
Sure.
What would you like?
Probably in insight, perception, investigation. I would allow insight would be best, but if you prefer one of those other ones, that's fine.
Ah, 19.
All right. The problem is there's a lot. The problem is that there's a lot of priests, young priests here that would for sure be very, that are looking and counting the years. Some that are getting close to 18 that have been trying to, be ready for the next pageant. There's not really, I don't know if you can necessarily pick a name is the problem.
Okay.
But there are certainly a lot of people looking at your age and looking at their own ages. And
seeing an opportunity, as it were?
Yes.
Understood. She nods to Leander. Thank you. You've always been a good friend.
Of course. What can I do for my pal? The first day you were here, you were quaking in your boots and everything was as big as dinner plates. I have to make sure that you're good.
She nods. Yes, it feels like only yesterday, many thousands of times ago.
All right, go out there and good luck with the girl.
I don't need luck.
No.
And she excuses herself.
And you'll be off to Sul Alcana. And you good, or is there anything else that
Nope,
you want
that's
to
all for me.
All right. Nereus.
Yeah.
It is you.
Sorry,
So-
could I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Was Saphira's not predecessor, but the one that came before her, was she also like older before she was replaced, or
She
are
was
they
younger
normally
than Saphira was. She was only
Okay, so-
34 when she was replaced.
so they're normally replaced in a timely manner? we'll say.
It seems, I
Yeah.
mean, timely manner and once conventional standards of beauty.
Oh, are
Yes.
MILFs in now? Is that why?
Probably.
Well, her tastes bounce between
Mm-hmm. Sure.
between 18 to about 35. Is about her range, I would say.
All right, sorry.
No, you're fine. Was there anything special you wanted to do in Kalsumia before you went to Ter Miro, Nereus? Or just kind of
No,
help with the cleanup?
No, I was just helping up with cleanup and trying to assist in, reestablishing the market, make sure that.
Selling some
Yeah.
timeshares.
Yeah, exactly. Sending out letters if I need to other places for anybody that wants to come and quote unquote donate to the reconstruction, because they might get some benefits in doing so, and with investments like that. So just using my influence to try to bring some money into the place, and then I'll leave.
And they are very appreciative of your efforts. So it's later, kind of closer to night by the time you, well, not quite nighttime, but it's definitely several hours later by the time you approach to Ter Miro. Ter Miro resides along the coast, although unlike the tropical paradise of Ter Lycilia, this place is clearly a bustling port town. A slight cold wind blows from the sea as merchants from all over the continent and beyond gather here to sell their wares. The streets are perfectly paved and gold flows freely. As you exit the teleportation circle room, you come upon Miro's dwelling. This place is shaped like a crescent moon with walls that are high in the center and lower down towards the ends. You know that legend dictates that it was once the boat that Miro used to circle the continent, but given its massive size, even you think that might be a tall tale. As you approach inside, a long time, a familiar voice from a long time ago comes to you. Nereus, your back. Before you is a older woman, similar age to you. Her skin is sky blue with deep blue hair wound into a bun. Her horns loop forward before shooting upwards, and it's been many long years since you've seen this woman, but she's still quite beautiful. However, you immediately notice one major change about her. She walks with a cane and favors her left foot. Sorry, I messed up my music again. 1 second. This is Triphosia. You're someone that you have known for some time, used to be a merchant, could have been something more. So to see her here is not necessarily unusual, as this is a port town, coming in and out. But her walking with a cane like this is certainly unusual.
Which hand does she carry the cane with?
She's favoring, I'm trying to imagine, so it's left foot that's injured, so with her left hand.
Nereus will approach, put his staff in his left hand, and extend his right to take her right. And if she gives it, he will gently kiss her on the knuckle and put it back and say, Typhosia, it is an honor to be graced with your presence.
Yeah. She will let you, knowing what you're trying to do, and before waving you off. Such pleasantries aren't necessary at this point. It's been some time.
It has. It seems that time has weathered both of us in its own way.
Weathering certainly is a word for it. When you're on the ship, you think you can walk and move forever, but as you get older, the accidents take longer to heal from until you're told they can't really do much longer.
And I ask what happened.
She grimaces. I was traveling, as I often do, and as I exited the boat, I tripped and fell into some muck of some kind. At first, I thought I just simply twisted or broke an ankle, but some kind of infection has taken hold, and none of the healers have been able to help. They don't think it's going to get worse, as in losing a foot or losing a leg, but my sailing days are over.
I see. Are you in pain?
The healing magics have thankfully been able to quite well dull most pain. There's herbs that I take to help with the rest.
Okay.
But it's been a change, that's for sure. They the people at Termiro have been offering me positions of priesthood for a long time, and you know me, I've always preferred the freedom, but I'm thinking about it.
It would certainly be a different adventure than the one you're used to, but perhaps not an entirely unwelcome one.
Maybe.
But for what it's worth, I'm sorry that we haven't been able to do more.
None of y'all's faults, but thank you. I knew someday some things had to end, but I never quite thought I would be, awake to see it, so to speak.
Certainly. That's, I'm sorry.
Thank you. And, you're still up and moving around? You're still serving as apostle?
Slowly but surely, until my time is up. Hopefully isn't too soon.
Yeah. Watch your step. That's all I can say. Watch where you walk. These days, I don't know. Just kind of feels like the ground is less even than it used to be. And I'm used to being on a boat.
I can only imagine. Do you think that this is, if you were to take the frock, where you would be?
Well, the one nice thing about being in Terramiro is I at least still get to smell the salt air, you know? And I know the markets well. It's where I'm most at home, so. They don't have an exact name of my position, but I think I'm going to be helping people learn how to negotiate and speak with others and make those kind of connections.
You certainly always did have a way with words. I can remember many a bawdy tale you've shared.
Damn right about that. But, well, your words have also been quite inspiring.
Perhaps we will see more of each other. I don't intend to leave soon. There's business that I have to attend to on the continent. Yes.
That would be good. I can't necessarily get to you easily, but, well, I'll be around if you want to catch up some more.
These shoes are well worn. I would be happy to make the journey to you.
Honestly, if you had a way of making better acquainted shoes with this, she kind of points about how, like, with how her foot is injured, it doesn't quite make an even gait for her.
I already had some ideas. You've spoiled my surprise already. But you've always been charmed. I will. We will. I think I have the measure of you in multiple ways.
Well, if you don't have the measure, I can always help you learn it again.
It truly is good to see you.
You have been a sunshine in a dreary few months and years.
Keep yourself safe. There is something happening. I wish I could tell you more. Movement of unknown forces on the continent.
Is it
The
devils?
gods. It doesn't seem to be. Or if they are, they're of a kind I've not encountered and not read of before. Creatures of shadow, of mystery and trickery, all consuming by the apparent nature of them. But for what purpose, we've yet to glean.
Well, if anyone's gonna know where that will be and where that will lead, I know you'll figure it out.
Well, that's a great deal of faith to live up to. I will do my best.
Well, I'll see you soon then.
Yes. I look forward to it.
As
I
well.
will send a missive once I have time.
Thank you. And she'll nod and let you be on your way. And then you are going to, unless there's anything else you needed before you go to the altar for Miro.
No, I'll take care of Miro first, and then there's a small thing that I'll try to take care of after.
No problem.
Could I find Nereus at some point, either before or after? I guess just for timeline's sake, maybe afterwards, and we'll also make a decent donation to the restructuring, rebuilding, or the efforts of that town that we all destroyed. Sorry, that almost all of us destroyed.
Right.
There's a couple ways you could go about it. If you want to meet with Nereus face to face, Sual Kana is probably going to be your best bet because you're all going to be there. If you're trying to send money to efforts, you could talk to him, and there's definitely probably some things you could do to send things to, like.
I think
Terramiro
maybe
too.
I would have like a courier or someone from Heliana's send like a letter maybe with the donation, or just with writ of that it was donated or whatever, and kind of just like a something along the lines of, though the domains of our gods may all be separated, we rely on each other, sort of like, giving this idea of like, hey, I'm helping and doing you some favors, so if you see any opportunities to do the same, it will be remembered type thing.
And Nereus would respond while he was in the town, writing letters, thanking both you and the Temple of Helena, Helena,
Helene.
Helene for it, and that Nero will remember.
There
That
you
was all.
go.
Thank you.
I mean, you guys all kind of still have that link with each other too. So
Yeah,
you
this
get-
is just more of a formal
yeah.
record
Yeah.
of the favors.
Yep. Information travels fast in this continent because teleportation magics exist. So
Right.
letters and such things are like email. It's crazy.
Great.
Look, we
And
like the red
notification.
tape, okay?
Right.
I have a custom stamp. I'm using it.
Right. Bureaucracy has its uses.
Every time we send letters back and forth, the wax seal is like more intricate and bigger than it
Right.
was before.
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
covering more and more of the page. I'm like, this is
This
but
is
okay.
the whole page is just wax.
Is there a chamber that I need to go to speak to
Oh,
Nero?
Oh yeah. You have Mira's altar, as every building has an altar, but yours looks a little different from everybody else's. You enter Miro's altar. This room has chairs and tables around in a circle, while the middle space is sort of a raised platform. You know that when bishops meet with Miro, they encircle him like spokes of a wheel, as opposed to the seated and then sitting before the deities of the other tears. You take a seat, and it's within seconds that a puff of smoke envelops the platform before Miro sits before you, sitting because he's currently sitting on a cloud with his lower half covered by cloud cover. Nereus, my boy, is today an excellent day?
It is mighty and meandering, Miro, especially as I get to see you. I come with news of our adventures.
News of all adventures. Tell me. How did it go?
It was enlightening, but raised more questions than answers. Our foe is mysterious and esoteric in its nature. We do not know its purpose, except that it wishes to consume and inhabit. But for whatever reason, we don't know.
Mysterious, esoteric, consuming. Ooh, such mysteries we must solve. I love it. I love it all. Well, not the consuming part. That's not so lovely. But everything else. I am still searching for more questions. More questions I am searching for. I am told that Asterin is going to send his apostle to find more answers. Boring. I want more questions.
I believe questions will be easily found, Master Nero.
That's
We
true.
each are speaking with our various powers that be, and I suspect that even more questions will come from that. The real question that plagues me at the moment is where to take our next steps. We intend to meet, but where we go from there, I am at a loss.
Where to meet? I know where to meet. I shall tell you where to meet. You shall meet. I see. I have something for you to consider for all of more questions that you will discover. In the heartbeat of civility, venture to those trying to change their fortune. One contest, one prize, one girl who carries the hopes of her family. When the sun sparks through the hole in the horn of plenty, you will be just in time for a new spark to burn a flame. Will you finally find some more answers to your question or be given more questions?
Hopefully both, my lord.
I feel
thank
like the
you.
answer is it's always more questions.
You know that this is Miro giving you a mission. And
Yes.
I am giving you one clue for free. I put it in the chat. You know immediately, without having to do any roll, that the heartbeat of civility is a flowery name for the capital Sul Alcana.
All right.
If you would like, and this will not be your only chance to gather clues, I will tell you that I have tried to be fair with this riddle, that I do think
Sure.
with some more context when you get to Sualcana, you will be able to figure more out. But if you would like to try to make any kind of arcana, history, or religion roll, or if you'd like to try those of any certain lines,
Yes.
you may do so for clues.
I would like to. I can either. Would you like me to say the role I want to make, or would you like me to give you the line and you tell me which role you think would be applicable?
Tell me the line, and I will give you a roll.
I would like to see if I know anything about the Horn of Plenty. If there is a specific place or artifact related to that title.
History would be the best one to use for that.
There we go. Histoire. Bruh.
No,
I have
Plus
one. I have
9.
one inspo. Can I use it?
you may use it.
All right. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Natural 20, 29.
Alright, natural 20 means you get the answer, so good for you. With the logic of Horn of Plenty, and with the logic of knowing you're going to Sul Alcana, you are aware that the Horn of Plenty is a term used that in Alcanan they call the cornucopia. And you would also know that that there is a tavern, very famous tavern, in Sualcana called the Classy Cornucopia, often just called the Classy Corn.
Classy corn. My favorite. They have such a good brew there.
In fact, actually, because of the natural 20, this is a little bit of a fun fact. In Alcana, because the first one arrived in Sualcana, a cornucopia is pretty much the term used for taverns. The idea being that when the taverns had been brought up because when people had their personal farms, and then there was lots of plenty after the war, there was lots to grow in surplus. There was an abundance, and so people needed to open up ways to use it, and so the first tavern was created in Sul Alcana, therefore called cornucopias.
Interesting. Very good. All right. And then once I get there, I think we'll look through this hole, see what sun sparks could mean.
All right.
Then we know we need to find a young woman this contest. So I don't see that in the right up here, I think, but he did say that, right? There was a young woman.
One contest, one prize, one girl who carries
Yes.
the hopes of her family. Yep.
Understood. All right. Well, while I have Miro here,
Yes.
I need the company credit card is a little full.
Mhm.
So I know it's not time to pay it off, but if he wants to maybe do an early payoff or extend the limit, like I don't know what he wants me to apply for, but I'm gonna put that in.
He's gonna say that he'll look through the
Sure.
merchants and get some taxes going.
Okay.
And,
yeah, love
you know,
taxes.
Yeah.
Love that.
The good
Love that.
news is that he can pretty much extend the budget and the
Exactly.
what's the word for when they have like an infinite deficit? Isn't there a term that we're jokingly use?
An unlimited deficit.
Yeah, and he says the good news is he can do an unlimited deficit, so we're good.
Absolutely. Debt is a resource. Marvelous
Exactly.
Miro.
Exactly.
And mathematical Miro knows that debt is a resource and not
Oh
a burden.
god, the true villain is late stage capitalism. I knew it.
No, the actual question
Yes.
is Magnificent Miro,
Yes, you ask.
I am wondering if you can point me in the right direction. There are those that have the ability to find steeds of great worth. And I know, with your mastery and understanding of horses, that there are many stables in your name.
Yes.
I am looking for a steed exquisite and kind in order to pay my debts to a friend. And whatever the cost it would take from me, I would know it from you, so that I may pay what is due.
A steed.
I can't cast summon greater steed or find greater steed.
So you're
So I need to
asking
find
him
somebody-
for a favor.
Well, I need to find somebody that can. So only paladins can cast it.
I see. He will. What's he gonna tell you? How is he gonna?
Or
Tell
if he just knows where I can find, like, Sleipnir or Pegasus, that's fine too.
I mean, so you're gonna definitely. So there's definitely a priest of like horsemanship that's
Yeah.
here, and you know he's going to tell you that one of them will probably
Sure.
be able to help you, and that whatever favor you two decide between him is not his business.
Thank you, mysterious Miro.
Of course, of course. How many alliterations can be made with my name?
Well, Miro, with the myriad ways that you present your questions, you are occasionally maddening. But as great as your power is in talking to me, you are both modest, and your tricks are memorable. You are certainly never malevolent, but you are meticulous in your Machiavellianism. And as always, majestic Miro, you have made me motivated.
Take an inspo for that one. I
Thank
like
you.
alliterations. That was very impressive.
Eventually, I'm going to need to crack out the thesaurus. I'm going to use every M adjective and verb that I can think of. But
I love it. He's quite pleased with this. Have fun, have fun. The sparks in your eyes, and over, engaged. And then he whisks away.
then the last thing that is the master of horse here.
Yes. Yep.
And that's the last thing that I will look for this individual.
Yep. So you're gonna find. Ooh, we get to do my first made up NPC. His name is
Majestic Marvin.
His name is
We'll keep it with
his name
Ns.
is Retinue because that's a word. Priest of horsemanship, easy enough to find, and he nods to you, Apostle Nereus.
Master Retinue. It is Retinue, like
Retinue.
No, retinue.
oh, like a retinue.
Yes.
Understood. Alright. Master Retinue. It is good to see you.
As is you. What can I do for you, Apostle Nereus?
The god himself has given me your name, and
As he does
I
sometimes.
would ask for both a boon and a negotiation.
Very well. Let us begin with the boon you seek first, and the negotiation after.
I wish to do a kindness for a dear friend who has come on ill times. I am looking for a steed, both magnificent, kind, and wise. A king among horses, so to speak, whether magical or mundane. And I lack the resources either to conjure this being or to know where to find it and tame it for this person. I am hoping in this way you can direct me.
He nods. We certainly can address a beast here, but if you are looking for something more majestic and specific, that will take some. Well, you see, those types of creatures only really can come when they feel we are worthy of them, and I can point you to some places, but what you do with them is up to you. But otherwise, we have good steeds here, if that would be to your liking.
Nereus will think on that. There is only so much time we have on this earth. It is important to make the most of the gifts we give. I would take the knowledge of the places, and whether I am worthy or not, I know that she will be.
He's going to tell you. Just give me a second to think here.
Whether it is one of the winged horses, the great hippocampus, or even that master of sky and land, the griffin, I would appreciate any direction you have.
Yes, he's going to let you know that a Pegasus, the Pegasus, I should say, usually likes to hang around the mountain area. So it likes to fly through it. The closest kind of, so you could look into Sapphire, Sapphire Lake. Could be a good place to look. If you want to, you probably could find more information in Dor Visara about this horse, about this Pegasus. And what you know is that this Pegasus, because it has wings and enjoys its freedom, it needs to be given a good and honorable cause in order to let itself take a passenger and be weighted down or be connected to someone. So
That makes
yes,
sense.
that would be his recommendation for that.
Yeah.
And what I will ask of you in return, I am to understand that you have been assisting with the needs of Kalsumia.
Where I can, yes.
I would ask that you perhaps prioritize the use of our horses in the helping and reallocation of their farmsteads.
I know men and women of influence there. I shall write to them before I leave for Sual Elkana and give them your name.
Very
Perhaps then that connection will bear fruit for us.
good. Excellent. Glad to do business.
As always.
I will say that negotiation for this is rather simple, as it is up to you and your heart of whether the Pegasus will take you on your journey.
Well, then I shall either gain a mighty steed or at the very least wisdom. I appreciate your assistance, Ratatouille.
I shall either gain a mighty steed or be kicked in the face by a Pegasus. We shall see.
Or have permanent brain damage.
Whether it is the object we seek, wisdom or madness, all in Miro's name.
All in Miro's name. Respectable retinue, I bid you adieu.
And you.
Thought my goddess could be exhausting.
Listen, all y'all gods are exhausting in just different ways.
I'm starting to feel like Miro is just a way for Sarah and Rob to troll each other.
You don't say.
You just see how far we can go.
Pretty much. Robbie trying to get me to think of a horse. I appreciate being like, well, it
Listen,
could be the Pegasus.
I thought I could cast summon Greater Steed, or find Greater Steed, or find Steed. I can't.
Oh, no.
And they're not even cleric spells. They're
Paladin
just
only.
paladin spells.
Oh, jeez.
We don't have one of them, so I
want
can't
you to
even ask a
know-
favor.
For my Bard subclass, I got to take a spell from another class. I almost took Find Steed.
Yeah, dude, you get a sick griffin.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And at the very least, you put him in the initiative order, and you're like, you ready for this griffin?
All right. Are we all going to Sul Alcana?
Yes, once
Last
I
lady said
write
so.
my letter, I'm gonna go.
All right. Is anything special you need for that letter? Totally fine. There's nothing wrong with what you're writing, but let me know if there's something special.
You know what? Let's just see how well it goes. Do you mind if I roll like a persuasion check that's
Not
like
at
a
all.
tie to it?
Yes.
I got +0, so we're about to go
Oh,
for
sick.
it.
I don't think. Yeah.
10. We're right in the middle.
Yeah. You're not there. You weren't gonna fail it necessarily. It was just more of like how good of a deal and maybe how helpful retinue may be for you in the future.
And before I leave, of course, I will say goodbye to Trifosia and
Yes.
tell her that once her shoes are done, we'll have them sent.
All right. She kisses you on the cheek and wishes you well.
By the way, you don't have to spend all this effort on that horse. Like, I don't really need a horse or anything.
That's very sweet. Yeah, that's so kind. You know what? You spoiled my surprise. That's crazy that you knew.
Sarah, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Would it be easier for me to get the materials I need for my very stupid idea
Oh no.
without the Archbishop finding out here or in Sul Alcana?
probably here. It's just more if you're gonna have. So, Sualcana probably is not gonna have tons and tons of materials, especially not without the Archbishop to find out. The problem with here is you're definitely gonna have some bishops up your ass. So there will be maybe some rolls you have to make, but it is gonna be easier in Ter Kethek than it would be in Sualcana.
Okay. The only things that I would need that I can't make myself
Yeah.
would be a pipe and an adamantine slug.
Okay. When you say pipe, are you talking about literally like the tube?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could just replace everything as well with peasants. Make the peasant rail cannon.
So the pipe will be easy enough to find. That's just basic building material.
Yeah, I just need it to be, the same size as the adamantine slug.
The adamantine slugs. Sorry, when you say slug, can you describe more what you're?
I mean, if she finds a forge, she can make it into whatever shape she wants. I just need a chunk of adamantine.
I understand now. That without Kethek's direct blessing and with everybody already being very suspicious of you, what I'm gonna say for that is, I want you to make.
Can't just walk in and pick up a thing of adamantium and be like, got a project I'm working on. Don't worry, nothing dangerous.
Well, other people who work there definitely can.
Not
Rohirri
can't.
can't. Anytime, Rohirri's requisition orders are always thoroughly checked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
actually, can I, where's her... I have to scroll up a bit, I think. Where's her name? It was in the chat.
Ferris, your cousin.
Oh, Ferris.
Yeah. Can
Yeah.
I get her to get me the chunk of adamantine?
Oh, ooh, I love your thinking. I just want you to make a simple persuasion roll.
Just
Oh,
a
I'm not
simple
great at
one.
those, I think.
Just a simple one.
Oh, I am actually good at those. Holy shit. I say and then roll. I might inspo that if the
Go
12's
ahead.
not gonna work.
Go ahead, yeah.
There's just like, Rohirri, I'm not an idiot.
Alright, well, 12.
So with 12, she will agree under one condition. She just wants to know what you're using it for.
I'm gonna make a big boom in Sualcana.
A big boom? What kind of boom? Why?
Kethek said there's a hole there that needs a wall, or a wall that
They do say a hole that needs a wall. That's a common, statement in Kethek. But when you
That'll be what he mentions after.
After,
she does
yeah.
what she's doing.
Yeah.
But she is kind of like, that seems the opposite of how you operate, Rohirri.
there's a wall that needs a hole.
There's a hole there that needs a wall. Don't talk about Saphira that way.
Oh, God.
No wall could keep anyone from not doing it.
Do I get to know who gets the hole in the wall? I won't tell anybody, I promise.
Bruh.
Oh, you'll hear about it.
Okay.
Fine. All right, I'll get your adamantine. But I have to warn you, they are kind of in a low period of the adamantine mining, so you owe me.
And I owe you.
Good. And she will get you your piece. Basically, the results of your roll, you got it, but at some point, that may cost you.
Yeah.
In some way, depending on how this goes and what I decide.
Yeah, when you make the greatest glory hole of all time.
Look, Kethek said put a hole in that wall, and I'm...
You didn't ask why, though. And that's the problem for all of them.
I can tell you why. Kethek's bored.
Yeah, well, they won't be.
All right, so I assume you get that adamantine and
And the tube that I need, yeah.
and your big pipe. All right. Lay that pipe, baby. Okay, we're I had to say it. All right. Is everyone going to Sualcana?
Yep.
All right. Here's the fun part. I'm going to change the music, and then we're going to go to the battle map so I can show everybody the pretty map. All right. Give me 1 second. second. Let me get the players over first. And let me get our people here. Oops. Oh no, go away. There we go. Welcome to Sul Al-Khana. Sul Al-Khana is a mishmash of bright color streamers and white marble against broken stone walls of an age past. Kind of feels like it's party decorations in a foxhole. This place was once a high defensible area for the Great War, although it was thankfully not where the decisive battle was. You have all been to Sul Al-Khana before, and you're all very familiar with the way it is set up, which is a mostly gated, guarded city. In the middle is known as the Empty Pillar. This is basically sacred ground for every people that have holy messages to bring and the common people there to hear it. So think of it like a Greek forum area. The Agora district is where your shops and lots of markets and other kinds of products and services lie. Along the wall is called the borderlines. That's basically where your poor districts are. Another section is called the Divine Parish. This is where all the different homes for each of the 8 first ring deities lie. There are still recognitions of other ring deities, but the 8 rings are here specifically. So you can kind of see there's each has a big temple and then structures and homes for representing each of the first ring deities. Seeds below is a well-known and large graveyard, special graveyard, usually for those of important matters of the Divine Parish. And then up here is the Hestian Residency. This is where most people who live. It is kind of expensive to live in Sul Al-Khana, as you can imagine, so people who usually live here have the money to do so. Importantly, there is the Coliseum, the 12 Trials, where many different types of games are held. And then our classy cornucopia, our little tavern down there. Also, as many of you may have figured out, there are several references to Greek myths here. And if you can find them, I'll give you some inspo or something. So yes.
What are we trying to find?
Oh, I was just saying that several of the areas have Greek myth
Is the way that is the way that the rivers set up a reference to anything?
No, not specifically. The only thing I will say that's kind of a reference to is Greek not architecture but city planning is actually something we still use modernly, think New York City. And one of the beliefs of Greek architecture was that you should have your religious areas, your homes, and your markets all very separated out. So that is why it looks like this. But no, some of the other terms are direct Greek references.
Yeah, 12 Trials, they're kind of just staring everyone in the face.
That one's a little obvious.
I'm going to find. I hope there's not the stables that Hercules had to clean.
Well, that'd be in there somewhere. So
Congratulations.
Damn.
I like the graveyard being called the Seeds Below.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Thank you. I will tell y'all at the end of session for our audience what each thing is related to. So, Apostles, you have arrived to Sul Al-Khana. Now, you do each have different missions, and I can kind of help explain where those might be, except for Nereus. Technically, Nereus knows, but originally I wasn't going to tell him, but he rolled high enough, so now he gets to know. Before, I was waiting for you to be like, Horns of Plenty, Cornucopia, but that's okay.
So, which one of these is the one that needs a hole blown in it?
No, you're actually going to have to be going to one of these.
Oh. Well.
So the Archbishop lives in the Divine Parish, and the thing about yours that's important to know is that you know immediately that the house he lives in is a single floor with a basement, but more importantly, Kethic's area it's not just like necessarily just all single homes. They're actually like homes connected to a greater like, imagine like a wall, and then there's like homes on either side of it. So
Mhm.
they're all like connected to a complex.
Okay.
And you would know that, yeah, so you know that his would be connected to a structure with other priests and family members for Kethik. So therefore, there's kind of really only one obvious entrance along with fortified walls, and any windows are very small, you know, is made of reinforced glass. For you, if there's any other rolls you'd like to make to further kind of figure out clues of what you could do and stuff like that, you may make them. And everybody else, similar kind of thing. Saphira, you know that you are looking for Psyche also along Athala's places, because as priests should be hanging out there as well.
Oh, I'm sure I'm going to be super popular in Athala's area.
Quick question. Is
Yes.
there any sort of rivalry between Baratos and Rohirri's god based on the fact that they both like to make things that destroy stuff?
So here's the interesting thing here. Kethik truly can't be interested in blowing things up. He can only be interested in bastions. So, in that case, openly, like, without really looking into it, Kethik and Baratos get along just fine. They sparked around the same time during the war. They see each other as kind of like brothers at arms. So their people don't necessarily, like, on the outside, there isn't really any rivalry.
Sure.
Kethik makes sure things are safe, and Baratos makes sure that, you know, things that are being created are good to go. Inside, from what you know, Rohirri's kind of special. Not as far as, like, knowing a big hammer and someone of Kethik's apostle that destroys things, that's kind of new and not typical.
Okay.
I'm
Could
just going to lower the
I...
volume here because it's hard for me to hear you guys. So-
Yeah,
Okay.
would I be able to make an insight check? Because to see if I might be able to incite a kind of competitive spirit with an apostle of Baratos, and like, hey, danger's coming, and it's either going to be, you know, Baratos or like how we deal with it is either going to be offense or defense. Like, would that sort of approach work?
Sorry, can you say-
Like so if I don't know that there's like a natural rivalry there, like obviously, you know, in a highly political thing like this, everyone's looking for like the next leg up, like how can they, you know, take center stage and like, you know, be important or of use. And Kethik is essentially defense, bastions, protecting, right?
Correct.
And Baratos is ingenuity, creating, destroying things. So I'm wondering if I could do an insight on the apostle, just knowing what I know of them.
Of
That
Fjord?
if
Okay.
yes, that if they were to know that, like, hey, we're looking for like the next big thing, or like how to deal with this new threat, and Kethik has something, you know, brewing. Do you have anything interesting? If that sort of thing would interest, or if that might work to loosen some lips.
So, I will let you make an insight check, but I'm going to warn you, I am going to put disadvantage, which I think makes it a straight roll.
Yep.
Only because I would say Fjord is very private,
Mm-hmm.
and while this would maybe be an excellent thing to discuss with him, it might
Sure.
be kind of hard to insight it beforehand, but I will
That's
let
fine.
you make the roll with disadvantage. And Dolvik, actually, the Ares versus Athena vibes, I purposely made it more of with Kethik and Devra. Devra's really the Athena of this game. But no, the apostles are serving Devra, so we don't get to hear much about her.
22.
Okay. I would say, well, that while I do think it would, I think this would be better spent with Fjord from what you know of him more of as a conversation. Fjord is very private and just seems very stressed all the time. So you're not really sure if looking for something as a contest is really going to be up his alley, if that makes sense.
Sure. Okay.
But that doesn't mean you can't glean some more information that could be very relevant
Mm-hmm.
about all this with him.
I feel like all of the apostles are very stressed all the time. We
Y'all
all
stress
seem
for
like we need a
different reasons.
vacation.
You're in forever vacation land. I don't know why you're so stressed out.
Lithian
Yeah.
enjoys what he does, so he doesn't work a day in his life.
Rohiri very much enjoys her job.
I love what I do when I get to travel. This is kind of the point, but otherwise.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of go one by one. Is there anybody that wanted to meet up? I'm going to prioritize player meetups before we get into missions. It would be easy enough to let you all know that you're here, but I just wanted to see if there's anything of that before we kind of go one by one.
I don't need to meet up, but I'm just going to mention that I will re-up the telepathic bond spell so that we all have it.
Very good.
And continue it, and yeah.
I should have said this. I apologize. We're going to say that it has become the next day since coming to Sualcana. You guys got your long rest. I apologize. I should have mentioned
Cool.
that.
Cool, that's the biggest resource I needed for this plan.
Yeah, I should have said that. I apologize, but you have gotten your long rest.
I need a lot of spell slots for this to work.
But yeah, I don't have any meetups.
That's okay.
If
And
someone
then-
wants to meet up with me, that's fine. But
Rohiri's laying low until
laying tight.
Alrighty, well then we'll just kind of go originally in the order, and I may stop between to make sure we all get through stuff. So Lithian, I will have you go first.
Yeah, I will track down where the Ord is. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Okay.
think I'd track down where he is and visit him at wherever his shop, whatever his normal place is, and I would show up unannounced to kind of set him off a little bit.
So you will need to kind of figure this out a little bit, because normally
Sure.
apostles are in their tears. Here's what you do know. When visiting the capital, acolytes do typically stay in rooms near their archbishop, so you would know where that is. But the actual arrangements of where they would stay really depends on the clergy setup. And you also know that Theord is a pretty meek individual, so finding a shop is not a bad idea, but you may need to gather some information and intel in whatever ways you would like to.
Right, then... Do I have any cool spells with my one warlock? Let's go ahead and use enhance ability on myself for wisdom stuff. And I think that I would like to start then by... Is there any sort of official records that I can look into on places that he specifically, not necessarily under, the church would own, but obviously I'd probably know where his residence is, but if he has any sort of private workshops, any place, because you mentioned being so stressed out, finding ways to get away from the people who contribute to that stress might be something that he likes to do.
So, records specifically would probably be difficult without going straight into the Baratos area of the Divine Parish. So I would say I would recommend either considering talking with some people in different ways, however you want to approach that, or maybe even trying to do some stealth and stalking a little bit.
Yeah, I would be okay with trying to stealth in to check this, because I don't want word to get to him that I'm looking for him.
I would like you to make a stealth roll and an insight roll.
All right. do stealth first. 15, and if it's a failure, I will use a side dice.
Oh, trying to think of what the perception rules would be. The stealth is really just how well people don't really notice you. So I would say that your average person isn't really gonna take much mind to you. But let's look at your insight check.
Sure. Dirty 20.
Okay, that is good. So, with those rolls together, what your outcome is that you are able to kind of get a read of Theord's whereabouts. I will say that with the 15 stealth, some people may have spotted you, but
Can I use a side dice then to boost that up a little bit more?
Sure, go ahead.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So no one saw you. Congratulations. Or if they did see you, they don't realize that you weren't supposed to be there, which is more important.
Yep.
And with all of that, you do find out that while the idea of him leaving the area would be very nice, it's clear he doesn't. It's clear that he does stick around the Barados place in Divine Parish, in that you do know that there are several workshops, and you are able to pinpoint that there is one that he is currently kind of taking up house in, to the point that he doesn't really sleep at his house.
Uh-huh.
And this would make sense with what you know, because if you were to sleep at his house, that would grant him easier access to the Archbishop, which is probably what he's trying to avoid.
Gotcha. If that's the case and I know where he is then I would head to... Yeah, I would just head to where he is then to have a little bit of a meeting with him.
So are you going to do any... Are you trying to sneak into him or just open the door, boom, hi,
Nope.
here I am?
I will just go to where he is and knock on the door, not boom in, but you know, gentle knock.
Who is it? You hear some shuffling of papers inside.
Lithian of Helene here for a bit of your time, Theord, if you have it.
One second. You definitely hear, with your high perception, you hear some shuffling of... What's your passive perception?
17.
Okay, yeah, that's high enough. You hear...
Actually,
definitely-
right now it would be... What does advantage confer? What kind of bonus? Is it a
Plus
plus
5, I want to
Plus
say.
5, I wanna
It would
say.
be 20... Whatever 5 onto 17 is. 22?
Yeah. 22. You definitely hear there's definitely some shuffling and some shuffling of papers, and some you hear some metal kind of grinding and being pushed
I hope
off.
this isn't a bad time.
It's fine. And he comes to the door and he opens it a little bit of a crack. What are you doing? Sorry.
He presents the whiskey that he brought. I know that you've been overworking yourself and under a considerable amount of stress, so I thought you could use a bit of a relaxant.
This place isn't the best for that. We'd have to go back. I'm gonna say that he's going to be asking that they return to his room, unless you'd like to make some kind of a persuasion check to have him do this here.
No, that's fine.
Okay. He will follow you and close and lock the workshop, and then
Mhm.
he will follow you around. You do see that he kind of looks a little over his shoulder as he's like, "Apostle of Helene, this is, I will say, rather irregular." And he'll look for his house and open the door and let you in.
As we move to, I think I would discuss with him in a way so that people aren't inferring necessarily what we're talking about and how secretive we're being about
Yeah.
what happened in that village.
Yes.
But just sort of get his thoughts and kind of like an exchange of information, to sort of make it seem like maybe this is the reason that he stopped by, was just to, gather more intel on the weird happenings and occurrences and get some other insight on it.
I want you to make a persuasion check. There's no like fail state here.
Mhm.
It's just how suspicious he's gonna be.
Yeah, and I think what I'd like to aim to do is I would like him to be thinking, is he here for something that I should be worried about, or is this like a good thing that he's here? Because I think normally when I show up, people probably aren't happy to see me.
Yeah.
Persuasion. Okay.
Yeah, you got called into HR.
HR came to you.
Yeah, they came to your desk and said, "We need to talk now."
That is a 23.
Okay. Yeah, I think he actually does seem a little, I don't know if relieved is the right word, but definitely it seems he's like, okay, this seems just kind of standard. This
Yeah, I
isn't-
think every time he starts to feel anxious, I would try to make him feel a bit more at ease, and then just kind of teeter-totter back and forth between that.
Okay. And so he's a little off balance, but not in a way that he's gonna clam up. I think is the best way to describe what your success means. So he lets you into his home. Apostle rooms are, of course, they're nice, but I will say that his room, he really just kind of keeps you into the sitting room, and everything else just seems kind of locked up tight. It seems like maybe his room just might be smaller than I think your room in a place like this would be. It's not dirty. It just seems unattended. And he has a decent couch with a table. And I think as he goes into his kind of the kitchenette area, again, it's not dirty. He just seems kind of like unaccustomed to like, where do I have cups? Like, where is food? As he looks around, do you want something? Oh, we have the whiskey. Never mind. I'll get cups. And he's kind of looking through to find some stuff as he takes it out and comes to sit down.
I will pour a glass for both of us then.
And given your success with the persuasion, he immediately downs his drink.
Good.
Congratulations.
So yeah, we continue just kind of make small talk and ask what his experiences were with what they fought, how reporting back went, and kind of make it seem not like business per se, but just two peers kind of sharing their thoughts with one another. And then eventually I think I would broach the subject and ask, so these sort of visits aren't common for me. You know what my reputation is. I don't get to make them often, but when I do, it's nice. I wish there were more of them. While Helene and the other gods, from what I've heard, don't have any... They're not worried about this. Threats to them come up, well, you know how often it is. But we as apostles must make sure that we are ever vigilant. What happened in that village shouldn't have. We should have been there to prevent it.
Yeah, it's hard to know when your next issue's gonna come up. Depending on where you're at, sometimes you think it's never coming, or it's always constantly over your shoulder.
And when you take into consideration the way that the political climate is going to be changing, what with the newly sparked and with perhaps at some point other apostles on their way out and new ones coming in, things are going to be shifting. There may be some chances for resources to also shift.
Resources.
We're looking for whenever the next threat happens, we want to be ready. There are mixed thoughts on the best way to go about that? Do we build bigger walls? Do we build thicker walls? Or do we find ways to stop the problem before it becomes a problem? Something that I think you are uniquely talented at.
Oh, I'm good at stopping problems. Yeah, and then he kind of winces, as if like he may have said a little too much, and then shakes his head. It's my work every day, just trying to keep kind of stop problems for becoming problems. Go ahead and make another persuasion check.
Natural 20.
Fuck. All right.
As he says that, I will say,
Yeah, go ahead.
as the seasons change, there are certain aspects of it that always stand tall and that stand strong, like the mighty pine, for example. Summer, winter, fall, autumn, it stays steadfast, and it's something that I've always admired about it and about you. I think that maybe you and Baratos could help us come up with something far more effective than anything that those over at the Bastion might.
Well, effective is one way to put it. It's the main problem with Baratos is you're not sure if you're going to solve the problem or blow up the world with it. And then he kind of looks a little shocked and meekish before
I'll pour a
frowning.
drink and hand it back to him. You are
And-
in trusting company here, friend. Continue.
He, with your natural 20, he lets out a long sigh as he downs the drink again, and goes, he's always, it's like he's still back in the war. They warned me, when I had this position that the creativity that it takes to be where I'm at, it's creativity to take what he has and find a way to make it that it's not just gonna hurt somebody. The water heater? When the water heater was made and huge deal, Icilia was all about it, some decades ago. You know what that actually was? It was gonna be a trap that you put under people's feet to burn them. It was the apostle before me that figured out how to make it into a water heater. That's what he does. He has these ideas, and I don't know if it's gonna. And every time we see it, we have to figure out a way to make sure he's okay and make sure everybody else is okay.
And you've done a wonderful job of that so far. So whatever it is that's being worked on now, I have no doubt that you will find some applicable use for it.
I hope.
I have my own resources and could lend ideas as well to help take some of the pressure off of you.
Yeah. What sort of? What do you mean?
Obviously, something like this, I agree, shouldn't be out in the public domain until it is ready to do so. But if you need additional resources, for example, I can lend my own insight and expertise.
I want you to make one more persuasion check. I will let you do this at advantage because of how well you've done. This persuasion check is not to necessarily end the conversation,
Sure,
but
sure,
it's
sure.
whether he's gonna just completely reveal what
Yep.
you're looking for.
Mhm. I'll throw a sigh onto this just for good measure. That is a 14 plus 8, so 22?
All right.
Yep, 22.
All right, very good. He sighs a bit as his fingers get a little jumpy. It's not here, but well, those weird shadowy things that we saw, we couldn't do anything to them. they just, no matter how hard we hit them, they just bounce right back. But, I think somehow we heard about the sphere, the resilient sphere that Saphira used.
Yes.
And, well, right now it's too dangerous to try, but, you know, he was kind of thinking if we could get something like that and pump as much power inside as we can, trap it, and maybe that'll do something to them.
Well, they're inside it, you mean?
Yeah, but it's too dangerous. Resilient spheres are good and all, but I mean, when you put
Where does all that energy go when it breaks?
Yeah. So far, it just bounces back. It's not.
I think I'd continue to just sort of talk with him in a way that keeps him going, listening to what his concerns are, and I don't just want to break away right now and be like, all right, cool, got what
Yep.
So I would just try to do my best to sort of set him at ease that he's doing the right thing, and in the end, creating for the betterment of Alcana is the important part here, and something doesn't need to be used, it doesn't have to be, but having those options will always be better than not.
When's this guy gonna learn? You gotta handle talking to HR like you handle talking to the cops. One word answers. Don't give him anything else.
He had
End the conversation as soon as possible.
Yeah, but I brought good whiskey.
got good whiskey and some good.
Yeah,
rolls.
I'm
We'll
that
do
one
some
HR
good.
person where someone's like, they're not like the other HR guys.
Yeah.
I feel like they really get me.
Yeah.
I am.
And then you're fired the next day.
I am gonna pause you there, Lithian, and
Sure.
we will. I don't know if we'll come back. There's still more that you can do here.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
I'm
Yep.
gonna move you to. Let's go next to you, Rohiri.
Okay, I have the dumbest plan.
All right.
And the biggest thing that I don't know that I need to know is where is the most empty place of, like, the Archbishop's house that nobody is going to be.
So I have some roles that you may
But-
need to consider first.
Your god didn't
Oh,
say
no.
don't kill anyone.
He
Truth.
he did. He would have.
Okay, fair
He
enough.
would have. He would have told you, like,
Look,
don't.
Rukiri doesn't want to murder her family.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
he does want to make big boom.
I will say that is a good point, Saphira. I should have made that clear. Kethik doesn't want you to hurt anybody. He just wants a hole in the wall, is what he wants.
Mhm.
I
I have an idea for that.
So I want you to, sorry, I had like some list of like things to not consider here, to consider here. I want you, so I am going to remind you that you have something special in your background that could be helpful right now. Because I'm a nice DM, and I look at your character
yeah.
sheets.
Can I? What's the name of that? feature? Oh,
You
there
need
it
to
is.
make some rolls to get that information.
Ah, okay.
So
That would
I
be-
go ahead.
I need to check something in the spell real quick to see how long it lasts. Cover an area no larger than 10 feet in diameter.
As long as everyone's good to continue playing, I'm going to make sure everyone gets a turn, and then I think we'll wrap up for today.
Sure.
I'm just ordering.
Oh, until dispelled or triggered. Excellent.
Oh yeah, warding glyph
Uh,
just lasts forever.
Yeah, so I think maybe I give you the important information of what Rohiri is attempting here, because to be fair, it's fucking insane.
Go ahead and do that. I may call for like an intelligence roll or something to see if there's something you hadn't considered yet. And if you fail it, well, this will be fun. Go ahead.
Okay. I still do want to do the rolls to get the like blueprints from
Yeah.
the background feature. But So I want to put 1 5th level, 3 4th level, and 3 3rd level glyphs of warding on the inside of this pipe.
Okay.
The adamantine slug is going to go at the bottom, and then eventually she's going to use creation to encase it in adamantine, hit it with the hammer, and the slug should be propelled with, I did some math, the force of 40d8 thunder damage.
Is that all? And I assume she will have to roll an attack roll just to see if it crits.
There's a couple rolls she's gonna need to.
Do you
make.
think do you think this qualifies for siege damage, so it does double damage to structures?
I mean, it's force damage, technically.
Yeah, I love this
I'm-
idea.
She's also going to first level cast magic weapon on the slug itself.
That's fair. So there's a couple things you need to consider. So one, you need the blueprints, but I want you to also, you can decide how you want to do this. If you want to try to remember about this, like this bishop's place, that will just be a straight intelligence roll. If you want to scout and actually physically be there, that's going to be a perception with a possible stealth roll if you don't want to be seen. So basically what I'm trying to say is intelligence roll is going to be harder because I'm assuming that's a lower bonus for you to just try to remember something that might be revealed, but you could maybe better figure it out through a perception check. That would be a lower DC to do that. But you need to decide if you're going to do it stealthily or if you're going to let people be able to see you.
I would just like to point out that if you're sneaking around, that means you know what you're doing is wrong.
That is true.
Lithian?
I'm just saying.
I have disadvantage on stealth, though.
Look,
Well, I guess I wouldn't need to be wearing my armor in a city necessarily, so...
it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. You were asked to
You
do this.
also might be able to, you also could chance to be seen and deal with whatever that could look like.
I would rather not.
Okay.
How do I get rid of...
Someone's like, what are you doing? God business. Shut the fuck up.
I roll it flat. Select roll, normal roll. Oh boy. I would like to inspo the fuck out of that.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea.
That's what you get for forgetting your real dice.
16 on stealth.
They rolled pretty low, so as far as you know.
What, on my dice? Crazy.
I know. I was like, are you kidding me? As far as you know, we haven't been
Perception then, or...
Yeah, perception or investigation. I should have said investigation too.
Ooh, I'm... Ironically, because of proficiency, I'm better at investigation.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's fine.
22.
Very good. So you know a couple of things. You know that, as I mentioned, the windows are small, and you know it's made of reinforced glass of those windows. I'm to talk about getting inside. So it's not unbreakable, because there's not really such thing. But it would be difficult to break without arousing attention if you're trying to get inside. There's one obvious entrance with guards at the front. Could there be other entrances? Probably going to need to get that blueprint to figure that out. The most important thing is that there are alarm spells all over the place. So that's also something that you'll need to contend with.
Well, I did kind of design the magic railgun to be used from range, so...
Guess that's fair. And otherwise, but you'll need the blueprints to know more, that it's a single level with a basement. And you know also... okay, sorry, you need the blueprints for that information. Excuse me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do I get those with the background feature?
Yeah, so basically, normally that background feature, I believe, just lets you get it unless there's just certain roles. And basically, what I'm gonna say for you is, um, you're going to, you're going to need. There's a couple ways that you may want to do this. One could be persuading. To get those because Kethic's like main building, they carry blueprints for practically the entire city. So just kind of going in and requesting a blueprint, a persuasion check will just make it that you'll be given it. Nobody's going to ask questions. But the higher persuasion check, the less suspicious people will be. You also could attempt something like stealing it, either through sleight of hand or I don't know if you have any spells that would help you. But yeah, so you know that like in Kethic's area, there definitely would be blueprints to find, just however you want to get them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest with you. Dex is not Rohirri's strong suit, so we're gonna do the persuasion.
All right. The higher the persuasion check, the less suspicious people are going to be and automatically presume like something must be off. Doesn't mean that your
I am
mission's
gonna
over.
inspo that. 'Cause
You got the inspo for that?
I do. I had 5 inspo after the question today because apparently I'm popular, I guess.
It does help to be popular.
And people say you're not a celebrity.
Oh my god, that's a 9. Okay, well, this is gonna go super well for me.
You get it, but definitely the person who gives it to you with a 9, unfortunately, the person's gonna give it to you but go, is there something wrong with Archbishop Duskley's abode?
That remains to be seen. Hopefully not.
So is this some sort of house check? I can alert him for you.
No, I'd rather not alert him if there is, in fact, no problem.
I see. Very well. Suspicion has raised.
Yeah.
Up in the corner. That was suspicious.
Yeah, pretty much. He'll remember that. All right.
You'll remember that when a hole appears in the wall.
So the blueprints tell you that there definitely, I mentioned that there was a single entrance, but there would have to be an emergency exit. Like, they aren't dumb. So you have an idea that the emergency exit, based on what you're seeing in the blueprints, must be something that would probably be connected to the basement, likely through the sewer system. The other thing to note is that I mentioned how his home is kind of part of like a wall and connected to other abodes. There's no like strict connection from one home to another, but again, the sewer system technically connects them all.
Okay, but there's no like hallway through the wall kind of deal.
No, there is not.
Okay, well, Kethic told me to put a hole in the wall, so that's where the magic railgun's getting pointed.
So where are you pointing it at exactly?
Just one of the sections of wall that, isn't going to, like, there isn't a house on the other side that the debris is gonna blast through.
Okay. So, the kind of actual wall sections, because they connect to a lot of homes, it is going to be kind of a small. It's not like normally if you had like a normal gun, you're just hitting a wall. But because of how powerful your force is, you will need to be careful in how you kind of aim it to not necessarily hit someone else's home. So, I'm trying to think on the fly what kind of roll I would like you to make for that. Also, I need you to consider that. So, where are you going to be near the Archbishop's house when you do this, or where are you planning to fire this?
I don't know, what the fuck would the range on something like this be?
Anybody agree with this? We can figure this out. Hold on. We gotta figure out the force.
Would it be fair that we're gonna use the range of a longbow?
For me.
Or a rifle, maybe. Does anyone know the long range?
Longbow is like it's
300
200.
feet.
I think it's 200, 600.
200, 600. Yep, longbow
Yep.
is
Oh,
200.
that sounds right. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is? Does anyone know what a rifle is? Is it the same?
Yeah,
or is
I've
it...
got it right here. Hold on.
Might be a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, longbow's 150, 600, weirdly. And a rifle in 5e is. Let's see. A musket is range 4120. This is not really a musket, though. And a hunting rifle is 8240.
Oh, so longbow's the longest. Okay.
Yeah, longbow is the longest. Yeah, a
So,
laser rifle is 100, 300. A longbow is longer than a laser rifle. Which, given diffusion, would be...
longbow supremacy.
You're like, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think how I'm going to rule this is that here's the dilemma I'm going to present to you, Rohiri.
Okay.
If you want to aim accurately, you're going to either have to contend with the alarm spell and being spotted. If you want to try to do the longer, safer distance, you will have to contend with your lack of aim. So which dilemma would you rather deal with? And I will come up with rules to accommodate.
Trying to see if I have.
And of course, if
Oh,
there's any spells you'd like to use, like, more than welcome, let me know.
Yeah, I would like to use find traps to get around the alarm spells.
That's very good. All right, I will allow you to do that. I just want to read it real quick.
Yeah, I just put it in the chat in Roll20.
Okay, it specifically says alarm spell. Very good.
Very conveniently.
Very conveniently. I think I was going to probably rule as that anyway, but I was just curious. All right, yep, you're good. So with the find trap spell, what that's going to mean is that you are going to have essentially a chance to get away before being spotted.
Oh, good. Get the hole in the wall. Run the fuck away.
Pretty much. So,
Okay.
What could possibly go wrong?
I am, however, going to have you roll an attack roll. Pretty much, unless you hit a 1, you're gonna be okay. DC's
Okay.
the AC is 10. Let's just say that.
All right. What am I? Is it strength or wisdom?
Whatever you use for your hammer.
14.
That's enough. So, you hit this slug, this adamantine that is now over the pole, right? You used something for that? The pole is made out of that?
Yeah, so the pole is basically wrapped in adamantine because I have the creation spell, which would have been my last 5th level slot.
Okay. So you hit that, and it careens toward this area where the wall is in perpendicular with a wall of the Archbishop's house. So it should hopefully not necessarily do too much damage to the houses next door, although we'll see about that. So it goes forward, and you hear a tick, followed by a and using the cover of the smoke and knowing that you were able to aim without hitting the alarm spells, I'm going to have you roll I'm trying to think of the most fair roll here. I will have you roll an athletics check because of your success with the find traps as opposed to stealth.
All right, nat 20.
You get the hell out of Dodge. Basically, this is to show that instead of having to sneak away, you could just run away because you knew where the alarm spells are and you didn't have to worry about tripping them. That's why I ruled it that way. So you book it out of there, and there's a lot of screaming. I'm going to have you do the damage. And I want you to know that depending on how many full dice damage you did, it may have hit some other places.
Oh no.
Oh, you knew what you were getting into.
Mm-hmm.
You made a railgun with an adamantium slug.
You didn't need that much firepower.
To be fair, I don't know what it takes to go through a stone wall.
Especially one of
Hearing,
Catholics. Especially one of Catholics.
Yeah. Alright, so how many of the potential 40d8 am I rolling?
How many glyphs did you do?
So
think-
that's the math that I did. It was 1 5th level, 3
Yeah.
4th level, and 3 3rd level.
You're gonna roll all those if that's what you did.
Oh no.
Because I haven't exact math here, what I'm basically seeing is how many 7s and 8s do you have? So.
Oh.
That's
1, 2, 3.
Only a little over average, I think.
Well, 8s are at least easy because they're all green.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's only a little over average because average should be 160 for that, right?
Actually, can someone tell me what the average would be? That would make this a
The
lot
average
faster.
of 40d8, they're 4.5 each, so
I got it here. 180.
45.91.80.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I'm just a little bit under average, actually.
Okay, that works in your favor.
Remember, it would be double if you consider this a siege weapon.
I will, for sake of my Sarah's own math capabilities, I'm going to rule that because it is under average, it does overall keep to the Archbishop. That being said, you did do a fuck ton of damage and put a lot of glyph spells in, so there's definitely a couple holes in these walls. It's definitely a big asshole. It's definitely noticeable. And while you were not seen at the scene of the crime, we will get back to you later on what the ramifications might be. All right, Saphira. Saphira.
I might be in trouble if I did what Grandpappy told me to do.
Gee, what a interesting dilemma this game presents. Saphira.
Yeah.
Let me get you with some better music than this, because this is scary music.
Can I go make the Archbishop aware that I'm here? My Archbishop?
Your Archbishop?
Yeah, my goddess Archbishop.
Yes, go ahead. And sorry, I need to look up the name of your Archbishop.
Oh, fair enough.
But I have to do it on a different document on my phone. So just
I bet it's bitchy McAssface.
I mean, they're all pretty bitchy, so yeah, that's.
Say, I guarantee you it's probably not someone who gets along super well with Saphira.
Sorry, yeah, just to warn you, you know who Kareen is. Kareen is very jealous of you because she had missed her chance to be able to take your role. So instead just went through the Archbishop pipeline. But she is in her... it's easy enough to find her when you are in the Lysilia's district for her. Kareen is a pale, she is kind of like a periwinkle, so kind of like a purpley blue tiefling with deep emerald hair that is collected into a braid with some flowers, and she has very small, unassuming horns. As she finds you. Saphira of Lysilia, you have graced us with your presence in Sul Alcana.
Yes, under orders of Our Lady.
Of course. Under Lysilia, blessed be her name.
Blessed be, of course. I must say, I'm surprised to see you here.
Oh, well, as Archbishop, I am housed up into Sul Alcana, as is my role and duty.
I know, but if you're here, who's tending the sailors down on the wharf?
You're hilarious, Saphira. If you're here, I am wondering where all the lovely people are just waiting for you in the Salted Marsh.
She nods and gives a polite smile that says they've exchanged these barbs many times with each other. And she nods. Well, if you would be so kind, I need to be pointed in the direction of Athala's district.
Oh. Oh, you see
One
a
of
look.
the few things we agree on.
Pretty much,
Ugh.
that's exactly what that look is. It's a look of pity.
Yeah. She gives a somewhat knowing nod.
Well, I mean, if you can't see all the paint trails, she is going to be up there. I will warn you, they're a little bit distracted with some contest they're running.
Oh, a contest.
Athala always runs these things. She likes her little art contests to find new prodigies for her priesthood. I think something is clay, pottery, I don't know. Something silly.
How delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I won't take any more of your time. I hope you're enjoying yourself here.
And I hope you are always finding pleasures wherever they take you.
And she'll depart and go down to Athala's district.
Yeah, Thala's district is always lively, always is full of streamers and pretty things, and there's lots of people milling about. As Karina told you, they seem to be setting up and working on some kind of contest, which is not terribly important for someone who is a prodigy in portraits, but there's definitely plenty of people kind of milling about here to prepare things if you would like to figure out how to find your target.
Yeah. Sphera will approach one and offer a pleasant smile and introduce herself on behalf of the goddess Lycilia and say who she's looking for.
Question.
Yes.
Any particular type of person you're looking for?
Someone thirsty.
Kind of like...
Someone who looks inexperienced.
Very good. Okay. Yep, that's not too hard to find. So you are looking for a follower. And there's our unpaid volunteers, as I lovingly call them, as they are walking around, and they look like they're holding something, and they immediately about like, it's Apostle Saphira. Oh goodness. Could I get, if it pleases my lady, Lycilia's district is over there.
Oh, yes, my eyes remain capable, but it is
I'm so sorry.
a disciple of Athala that I come to seek today.
A priest. Who might you be looking for?
I seek a woman by the name of Psyche.
Psyche. Oh, our priest of portraits. Yes, she has a home here. That's basically where she sets up shop.
She's been given a home within the district.
Yes, late Athala, her grace, enjoys the many types of drawings that she makes.
Yes.
She's quite capable. You must be to see her to be drawn yourself. Of course, that makes only sense. She has been she's over there.
Thank you, darling. And she blows a kiss at this person before heading off in the
Deep
direction that he
blush.
pointed. What?
Deep blushing,
Mm-hmm.
and then they scurry off.
She will go over to the house that was pointed out.
It's a very simple abode. It's nothing fancy. Certain priests that do very well and are popular certainly can gain little. It's almost more like an apartment than like a real house. But it's not hard to find. And
She just takes a quick moment to primp and get herself ready, and then knocks at the door.
all right. When the door opens, you see a tiefling that looks back at you. She is her coloration is kind of like a light teal color, skin for a tiefling, and she has horns that are kind of curly cues that
Mhm.
twist outside of her head. She has bright pink hair that looks like it's kind of in a messy bun. And I would say the best description is she seems kind of cute. And that's about it. So, but she seems otherwise kind of unassuming. And as she opens the door, her eyes get very wide. Apostle Saphira! You got my missive! One
But
of-
of course. And let it never be said that the goddess Lycilia does not provide.
Oh, well, after 20 letters, I'm actually surprised that one of them got reached to you. Oh, I mean, come in, please.
Oh, my darling, I'm so sorry that it took so many letters.
Oh.
Your delicate hand shouldn't have to be burdened with such things.
Oh, it's no matter. Honestly, I send lots of letters all the time to find people to draw, but you I was very much most interested in, and I honestly didn't think I'd ever get the chance, but this is wonderful. I'll give me a moment. My house is a bit of a mess, and she'll let you in and close the door, and you see there's just kind of a basic kitchenette, but very much what you imagine an artist's room to look like. You know, there's papers all over the place, some food that probably needs to get cleaned up. And I'm so sorry. I was not expecting guests today. I was finishing up commissions for other clients. Let me just tea, something else. I don't really have much alcohol here. I know Lycilius people enjoy to imbibe in such things.
Oh, believe me, if we were going to drink, I brought something of quality that we could share together.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, that would make sense. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Not my best roll.
That's okay.
12.
You're not sure if it just hasn't hit her yet or what's going on, but anytime you mention, like, us together or compliments, it's almost like one ear out the other.
Sure.
But she continues, well, let me take you to the studio. That is clean. I always keep that
Please.
area.
I would very much love to see your work.
Do you want to see my work or do you want to see the studio?
Is there no work in your studio?
That's a good point. And she just takes you over to her studio. Her studio is a much more brightly lit room. There had to be some special spell craft here to get the room to be this bright. And you see that there is a couch. There's actually several different types of seating arrangements. There's couches, there's stools, other kinds of chairs, and it's all staged. Clearly, like, moving things in out. There's even some colors to maybe kind of drape, and she has her easel set up, and you do see in the back there are some unfinished easel work. And it's very impressive things she has here. They're all basically sketches, some with little spots of color, but they're all different types of people and different types of movement too. It seems like she does a lot of still portraits, and obviously the still portraits have the most detail, but she also seems to be experimenting a lot with, like, movement, with people being in the middle of walking, of jumping, of dancing, and the like. And if you'd like to know any kind of more parts of what she likes to draw, you can go ahead and make a perception check to find some patterns.
Sure.
All right, very good. There are some nude drawings, but you notice that they're not sexual. Very sensual, but no one is really, like, anybody who is naked, it very much is kind of like naked in form, just kind of doing some, just sitting or what have you. She seems to be very dedicated to studying the form. And also you would notice with that she has drawn some kind of famous people. You recognize Devra's apostle, who Irida. She has a couple of some, like, maybe fighting poses with her. But also just ordinary people, like maybe their followers or other priests. You obviously don't know every priest in existence, but she really does range from, like, well-known to very ordinary people in her work.
You are a very gifted artist.
Why, thank you. It's amazing. I started art with just kind of seeing the people around me and just wanting to capture their form, but then I was able to submit into a contest for Athal, and here you don't need to hear about that.
I'm just curious, given your abilities, it's quite curious that Athala would choose to keep you so far away from her.
Oh, no, this is pretty normal for us priests, you see. We still, figure out, help draw certain things or whatever our art form is, and, kind of help teach others. And maybe someday I could look into being a bishop, but I'm pretty content, with my drawings and the things I get to do here.
Yes, it is important to seek pleasure wherever we can.
Pleasure. I like that. I like that. As worthy of Apostle of Lysilia.
She's a little caught off guard by that.
Um, Of course. Okay. So, I do want to make sure that you're comfortable, because I will want you to be nude.
She starts to like chuckle at that. I'm quite used to it.
Of course. All right. Go ahead. Wherever you'd like to be seated. There we have a couch. I have a stool. Just whatever captures you. You know.
Oh, well, I can't help but notice that you're experimenting more with motion. Perhaps I could dance.
Oh, dancing. Oh, that would be so much fun. Yes, of course. Let's see. She kind of moves some things out of the way and lets you go ahead and get changed however you wish to.
Doesn't take her long to undress.
Anything that you're doing while you're undressing, or is it just undressing?
Oh, no. No. She presumes this girl is watching, and she gives her a show.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception or performance?
Sorry, performance. Actually, I want you to do both.
Oh, okay.
Perception and performance.
If you ever have like, quick release type stuff where it's just everything off in one quick motion.
So her gift from her goddess is her wraps, and they come off very quick and very
Hey,
easy.
technically, there is such thing as cast off armor, so technically anything you wanted to wear could easily have that enchantment.
Her armor or her wraps do. She can't wear
Yeah.
armor, but All right, perception. All right, I got a 7 on my perception and a 31 on my performance.
Your performances, you're so confident. You got this. You know that you got eyes on
Not my
you.
first striptease.
Yeah, you feel sexy and great as you're going down. And unfortunately, with your low perception, you don't really realize until you turn around that she is sketching.
Me?
Yes.
Well, of course she is.
And but she's looking at you like she's sketching a fully clothed person on the seat.
Oh.
She doesn't care about the nudity.
And
She is not into it.
And she's
No.
going, oh, that is a really interesting dance. What is it from?
How would you react to this? This never happens.
Getting up there.
I know. This is new territory for her. It's quite a common dance in Lysilia's palace, I find.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Would you like to make another insight check?
Sure.
You're like,
Of course.
"Not really.
Lysilia sends me to get the one asexual girl in the whole fucking continent.
Let's see if you roll high enough.
Oh boy. Roll, please. Yes. Maybe. Insight. Go. All right. 22.
Yeah, you think Psyche, it's not that she's ignoring you. You just don't think it's hitting her like it would for most people.
Oh God, I am getting old.
But I will say, with that 22, there is still an awe in her eyes. But it's not in a, I want you, I'm jealous of you, which is what you're used to. It's very much in a, how beautiful kind of a way.
I see. Okay. So as this girl sketches her, she's going to try to flirt instead. We'll go that route with it. Some girls need to be stimulated mentally more, so let's go that route.
All right.
As she'll kind of suggestively talk about some of her times in Lysilia's courts and kind of present it as it's a wonderful place to be. You would be wonderful there. People would be all about your abilities. They would want to be drawn doing all sorts of things.
Do you think they would let me visit so I could draw people?
Oh, my dear. They would let you stay as long as you wanted.
Huh. Well, I wouldn't be able to stay for very long, but it could be an interesting place to go if I could get leave. Oh, could you turn this way? Saphira, the way she's asking you to move.
Yeah.
Well, it's not it's not a type of position you are used to. She's asking you to twist in a certain way that, you kind of see some rules. That's not really what you're used to. And
I will kind of glance at her. I'm not certain that would be the most flattering.
Flattering? I mean, you're Saphira. You're all flattering, but that's not really the point. It's part of your mortal body. How you look.
Uh-huh. Yes, of course.
Ah, there we go. And she continues drawing very happily. I just think all our bodies are just so unique, you know? And all the things that they do, the ways they can look.
I see.
She's immortalizing your mortal body.
I know, and I would prefer her not do that. Usually when she poses for pictures, she is painted like a fucking goddess.
I just like seeing people being themselves. Even all the little imperfections, I think,
Imperfections.
can be beautiful. That's what I'm always looking for.
I see. In her mind, she's thinking, did I do something to make my goddess angry at me? I don't recall her being upset.
You seem uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Are you not used to this sort of thing? Did I do something wrong?
Not at all. Yours is truly a unique artistic approach.
Oh! I see. I didn't realize that drawing people was a unique artistic approach.
Typically, when, especially in Terra Lycilia, when we draw one another, it is to take a spectacular, larger-than-life presentation of what exists.
Oh. Why?
That we may be remembered for our perfections,
Oh.
for the gifts that were bestowed upon us.
Well, I see that, but I think I'd like to remember people for all of it. The things that are good about them, the things that are not so good. I like to remember people by the brightness of their smiles, or the little dimples that they sometimes have, and the way sometimes their skin moves that's a little bit different, Because I think it all tells a story. What we've all been through.
I see. And what story do I tell?
She thinks for a moment. You tell a story of someone who sometimes, I think, worries about people seeing the wrong side of you.
You don't say.
But I don't think it's the wrong side. I just think it's an honest side.
I think she gets quiet at that. For once, she doesn't have anything to say.
Is there anything else you'd like to try to flirt or to get her attention or convince her at this
Oh,
time?
this has not gone the way it normally goes. Oh my God, this is gonna be very upset if I don't make this work. She's going to ask if she's had any partners.
Interesting. Me? Oh,
Yes.
I mean, I've had people I've liked and tried things, but I find a lot of people get kind of turned off by my approach.
Is that so?
Yeah, but that's okay. I bet you've had a lot of Oh, that's so rude. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness.
It may be rude, but it is also accurate. Yes, I have had many.
That sounds fun.
It is. Sometimes all it takes is a practice touch.
See, it's not even about the practice touch about it. It's just, I don't know. I want to make sure that they know me first.
Oh, God. I think she's realizing that this is going to be more of a project than she had given credit for. Oh, I'm going to be in this city for a bit.
All right. How about we? Oh, is there something else?
No, you can go.
I think
on.
we're gonna fade with poor Saphira floundering with a asexual girl. And
Why would my goddess send me to do a thing I'm not good at?
and Nereus, we're going to you. Thank you for being so patient, Nereus.
No, fine.
Yours is gonna be, I think, a good one to end on.
Perfect.
Everybody dies.
So Nereus, go ahead.
Yes. I was going to head to the classy cornucopia.
Very good. How about you go there and you do a perception check for me?
I can do so.
It's not going to be a high roll. This is more going to determine.
Well, that's good because I got a 4. No, you gave me an inspiration. I can use that. Hold on.
Go ahead. You also have your special things too.
Son of a bitch! I got another 4.
Well, here's.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna use my thing. I didn't roll my d20s for it, so give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Let me roll them real quick. So
if it's 2 more 4s, I'm going to lose my shit.
So here's one d20
That's
is
a
a
12.
12,
That's good.
and the other d20 is a 14. I will use the 14 for 14.
Okay, good, good.
14 plus 1, right?
No, I.
It's just.
Oh,
it's
you
I do have
place.
plus. I do have plus 1.
Oh, okay. 15. All right, that's good. That's good. So, the classy cornucopia, you've probably been here before. It's pretty much the most famous tavern of, it was the first tavern essentially of Sualcana and the rest of Alcana. And the main reason I made you do that roll is because as you look around the outside, you can't help but notice the sign that you have seen many, many a time, which is a imagine it's meant to be like the horn of a person, so it's kind of got the wide part that curls, and coming out, think kind of Fruit of the Loom, coming out of that horn is various like fruits and vegetables. But what's most interesting, I would say, is that curl, which is you notice that it's a actual hole in the wooden structure, in the wooden signage.
Interesting. So, let's see.
I'm going to try to leave this open-ended for you, but feel free if you'd like to make more checks. I can bring back the riddle again.
Through the hole. So when I look at the hole, where is the sun in the sky?
Ooh. So we're going to say that it is starting. We're going to say that you kind of arrived, a little, like you've been kind of walking around a little bit, but it's getting later in the day. And do you have that feat that lets you know the direction of the sun or the time?
Keen mind.
Yeah, you don't have that, do you?
It's called what?
Keen mind.
I don't have keen mind.
That's okay.
I'm psychic. Does that help?
I think you're smart enough to know this.
I mean, I give benefits to nature rolls. I'm happy to roll a nature roll and see if I can know.
Yes, go ahead and make a nature roll for me.
All right.
Use your psychic abilities to just see if anybody around knows the answer to the riddle.
Right, exactly.
There's got to be somebody watching, right? To give
Somebody's got to know. All right, so 24 on the nature roll.
You're good. So you can kind of tell with the direction of the sun that with where this hole is going to be, when the sun dips, so when the sun is about to, when it's kind of starting to set, there's going to be a pretty bright sunlight through that hole. So probably, through your estimation and high nature roll, probably around 5 to 6 p.m.
6 p.m., which is when the spark... For a new spark to burn a flame, which could be... We don't do this here, but I've been to other continents. What if that is someone sparking, literally? We don't do that here, but I would know, I assume, that on other continents, they don't follow the same ritual practices that we do to ascend people. Is that fair to say?
So here's what you do know, is that while there is that specific practice that we have here, you do know that there is something called an onrado, where special forces help make sure actual special forces called the Raidery that are priests from several different types, from several different deities that help someone accidentally sparking become an Onredo.
Interesting. So I suppose the question now is, do I wait for that to happen? Do I try to gather people here for when that's going to happen? Or do I look for this supposed contest that's going to happen, right? That was something that was
Yes.
mentioned.
Here's what I'm going to, because you're going down the right path in this riddle. So here's what I will. Here's what I'm just going to tell you here. You know that when someone sparks, it's very hard to hide. So I think knowing like the Raidery will be here, it could be because you know where you need to be in what time. You have figured out that part of the riddle. It could be helpful to learn what maybe this contest is for context of the situation.
Interesting. So I would like to investigate, asking around, being social, sitting down and getting a drink and possibly a small meal.
Correct.
And see if I can strike up a conversation that may lead me to this. Do you want me to make an investigation roll or persuasion or?
I am fine with either investigation or persuasion. You may do either.
Definitely going to do investigation.
That is fair.
Definitely going to do the one I'm good at. You have to be actually spreading my cheeks and pounding me as hard as you can. So I rolled a 2 with plus 9 is 11.
I'm so sorry. But here's what you do find out. You are aware that Athala, the goddess of the arts, runs contests all the time.
I see.
And so the people you're talking to, unfortunately, just don't quite know what's going on. But, you know, when you mention contests, they're like, which one? Athala's running them all the time. So that's what you get with an 11.
Interesting. So at the time of the sparking, will it be related to a contest? I mean, I don't know at the moment what else I would do besides wait for this to happen. I know, let's see if there's anything else in the riddle. I know there's going to be a young woman who's relevant somehow. I know that if this associates with actual sparking, we're going to know that it happens. I know the approximate time at when the events take place. And
you will not do anything wrong by waiting. You will simply just get more information
before
something happens.
I definitely don't want to go around and look for the one girl who carries the hopes for a family because I'm probably going to get arrested. So, to avoid that, I think I'm going to enjoy my meal and my drink and wait for the sun to set into the curve of the cornucopia.
Very good. All right. I kind of want to wait for Callie to get back because this is kind of a big scene.
Yeah, let's wait.
So, if you guys don't mind just a second.
I mean, while everyone else is doing their thing, I was listening, but I was also doing research on sacred prostitution. I kind of fell down a rabbit hole here.
Robbie, what the fuck? Darius, what the fuck?
I was a rabbit hole or a glory hole?
I was reading up on various. So it started with reading critiques of Joseph Campbell.
Oh my god!
It turned into talks about the responses to that turned into postmodernism, feminism, and that growth and response. And that brought up sacred prostitution and Asherah, the wife of Yahweh, and now I had about 16 tabs open.
Oh my god.
But I've narrowed them down.
Darius.
And I don't know.
Is it getting good?
I don't know how to look at these cuneiform symbols, but we're getting somewhere.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what we're gonna unearth, but it's gonna be interesting.
To get something relevant while we wait for Callie to get back, anybody tell me where I have on Sulakana the references?
So
is the Hessian residency Is Hestia one of the gods?
Yeah,
Hestia is
Hestia is a
goddess-
hearth goddess, right?
Goddess of the hearth. That's correct.
Cool.
And
Does that
then-
make it an inspo?
Now I know that the
Sorry.
Agora is a place in Athens. It's a meeting place. I don't remember if it's a marketplace or if it was, but people went there. The
It is
Agora in
it's-
Athens.
It's the market, is what they call the markets in the beginning
Gotcha.
of the markets. Oops, I'm so
Gotcha.
sorry. I didn't realize that this has been like this the whole time.
I don't know what the empty pillar is. But...
That's not a
I feel like
reference.
seeds below is something to do with pomegranates.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Pomegranate
Seeds
seeds
below
with
is the
Persephone.
Is
Very
it the border lines because it's the border of the
That one's not a
city?
reference. Sorry.
And then the
They're just-
cornucopia.
hmm
Is
Uh.
the river in 3 because Jesus is the Son, who is the Father, who is the Holy Spirit,
No.
and the only way that we get to heaven is through Him? Praise be His name.
No, that's just that had to do with Greek
Oh.
city structure,
Okay.
city planning. I
Is
looked-
it
I
an
looked way
upside
too-
down peace sign because
Yes.
something's gonna blow up?
Right.
We'll find out. You guys got them
Well,
all in
I mean,
12
something
trials of
did
Hercules.
blow up.
I was
Oh,
I was
surprising.
I was glad people got the seeds below. I thought that'd be too esoteric, but I'm very happy. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. That's cool.
Hi,
Sorry.
you're talking to me.
Sorry, Callie. We wanted to wait for you because we're getting towards the end of
Yeah.
the big reveal. So, not big reveal, but
What big reveal?
you'll see.
Yeah,
All
we were
right.
talking about sacred prostitution.
So,
what's going on
We
with
were doing that.
You
Yeah.
have Nereus. You wait. I'm
Yeah.
assuming you wait in the classy cornucopia, right?
that. Yeah, I mean, I unless they have outdoor seating.
Sounds good.
What's the weather like?
It's sunny and pleasant.
I'll take outdoor seating.
All right. Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice and pleasant here.
Okay, great.
As the sun descends, and yes, you just happen to sit at the right seat. That as the sun descends and goes through the that hole, and you have to be careful 'cause it's gonna burn your eyes if you look too close at it. There is a rush of motion, and you see several clergy-looking people, priests, running out and rushing inside. Make way! Make way! And you recognize these people. These are raidery, and on them, the main reason you can recognize them is that they all have a crest of a cage. And you know them as the raidery who cage the spark. And cage the spark is
Fascist,
the word
yeah.
for Onrado.
Ah,
And
okay.
You see them rushing inside, and immediately when these people are seen, everyone stays out of the way. And you do kind of feel that sort of rumble and big sort of there is a flash inside as they run upstairs to one of the rooms of the tavern. And it's a few minutes later that one of them comes down and looks around and sees you. You had been noticed. It's hard
Yeah.
to not notice you. And
Yeah.
he comes through and he bows his head. And you can recognize, because while raidery all are they all can come from different deities. It's kind of like it's kind of like one thing they all work together on is to make this core group between the deities. You can tell by other things he wears that he is of Miro, so that's why he would have recognized you.
Certainly.
Apostle Nereus, it is incredible timing that you are here.
Yeah, it is fortuitous. How can I assist?
Well, as you may have noticed, we have just had to make Onrado just now, but well, there's a slight problem.
Oh,
She's 6 years old and does not know what she is, cannot describe to us very well what she is Onrado of.
can I
And
make a history check and see if we know it just before? Wait, yeah, I'll do it next time.
Okay. That is where we're going.
Literally, I was just gonna roll and see. Do I know of any other instance where someone has been made an Onrado or even a god at such a young age?
I actually let's end with that. Go ahead and make your history check.
History check. You
Yeah, go
got
ahead.
it.
Religion's fine too.
Let's see. Religion's +9, history's +9, so 25.
You know for sure no deity has ever been officially made of someone so young. That no one would agree to that ever. As far as an Onrado, Certainly, young Onrado can happen. It is very rare. You do know that part of the problem with sparking is that the idea and the concepts of becoming divine do, in some ways, require some knowledge and experience. You know, it's not like the word just magically comes to your head. There is sort of an experience of what you've been doing and putting that information together in a feeling inside of you, from what it's been explained to you. So the idea of a 6-year-old sparking, that part isn't certainly that's may have happened. The fact that you were being asked for help, it kind of makes sense because of how young.
Yeah,
she is.
how will they contextualize the information
Exactly.
they're intuitively receiving?
Lockheed sparked at like 23 or 24. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think the youngest you had was Talia at 8, I think.
Talia.
Or how old was Talia?
No, Talia was older. She was able to read the sky at 8.
That's what I was thinking.
But
okay.
she didn't spark until she was 20.
Yeah, so that's what I mean here is this is a young girl who has no context and sparked. And
Understood.
you are going to be asked to help her figure that out.